Starfish and Mustard, as we call them.
Well, I mean, their full names are Sociopath Mustard and Psycho Starfish.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because Starfish is apparently threatened to kidnap Gordy, my cat. Seems to be that Mustard guy, that's just what he's doing. He's like fixated on finding anybody that happens to have like some kind of clash with us or something, and he's like recruiting his little fucking Legion of Stupid Doom or something. Is that I threatens to grape his entire family, and that I said I was gonna fuck his family, and then I said, I'm going to fuck your grandpa, I think I said, and if he's not alive, I'll shit in his urn. Because I did that, DJ is actually supportive of Grape.
Yeah.
Let's real quickly address Mustard here, because Mustard likes to pretend like he's just a concerned centrist, just concerned about some of the things these crazy leftists are saying. And dude, you're just a standard right-wing troll. That's all you are. You're a chud. You're
nothing. They didn't go on the stream to really talk about what happened with me and the F Slur. They went on the stream specifically to air grievances.
And so just like, I guess I have a question for Mustard. Like, how's our scrum taste, buddy? You like that scrum? You don't taste that unwashed scrum? All right. But
Hey, all right. Yeah, just be honest, episode 9. Wow. So we're getting up there, man. 9 episodes. Yeah, we're going to get into the double digits soon. So, yeah, look forward to that. So it has been, kind of an exciting week. My ears have been burning, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like, people have been talking about us, for the better or for the worse. But, yeah, how's your week been, sir?
It's been good. I work, so work's been steady and flowing well, and all exciting things there. The internet world has been a little rough.
What are you talking about? It seems like the gentle, delicate place that we all hope that it always will remain. Obviously I'm being a bit facetious. We set certain worlds a little bit on fire this week. We got a little bit of backlash. There's been some accusations made again. But we'll get right into that in a little bit. I thought maybe we could go into a slightly different thing. I wanted to talk about a particular subject that's kind of been on my mind this week. Let's get into this segment.
There we go.
What the hell is even that?
Yeah, so what the hell is even in-group bias? So it's something that's really been, it's been on my radar this week.
We have all sorts of biases that favor our own group over others. Some of these biases, I think, are morally respectable. I'm not embarrassed that I love my children more than I love other children, or love my wife more than I love other people. But others are less respectable. We have biases about skin color, about national origin, about even sports teams, where these things may seem kind of arbitrary and not very important, but they play a huge role in our life. We're hugely biased creatures. We're naturally carved the world into in-group and out-group. This bias...
And that seems to be something that's kind of in nature. It doesn't seem to be just humans that do that, but as he's going to kind of show, we have this innate, I don't know if you'd want to call it ability or need to kind of do this. And they even show this in kind of kids, but, not every bias is necessarily a bad thing. Like, obviously, your family, like your own child or something, you're going to be biased that you probably would protect that child more than like some stranger. That's not saying that you would wish harm on some other kid. Same thing with like a spouse or, other family members, you might actually like take a bullet for them. Would you necessarily do that for a stranger? I don't know. It's hard to say, but that could be a form of bias. Again, so could any preference, but yeah, as he kind of shows with his research and the research of his wife that he's about to talk about here, it seems to happen almost immediately with humans is the thing.
It seems to show up very early. So my colleague and wife, Karen Wynn at Yale, has done a series of studies with babies where she exposes babies to puppets. And the puppets have certain food preferences. So one of the puppet might like green beans. The other puppet might like graham crackers. They test the baby's own food preference as a baby, and babies typically prefer the graham crackers. But the question is, does this matter to babies in how they treat the puppets? And it matters a lot. They tend to prefer the puppet who has the same food taste that they have. And worse, they actually prefer puppets who punish the puppet with a different food taste. We see this sort of in-group, out-group psychology all the time. We see it in political clashes within groups of different ideologies. We see it in its extreme in cases of war, where the out-group isn't merely sort of given less, but dehumanized, as in the Nazi perspective of Jews as vermin or lice, or the American perspective of Japanese as rats.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, that's not a good thing. But it is kind of strange that even in, like, babies, that somehow it's not just, I prefer things that like things like me. It's, I want to see the opposite punished. I don't know. That seems...
It's almost a little bit Pavlovian. I mean,
yeah.
Are we sure these kids don't like these fucking puppets? Did you put a like graham crackers in front of them?
And I didn't go into it as much in this as he definitely does.
You put a pile of dog shit in front of one puppet, maybe, and a pile of, say, like, really good weed in front of the other. I'm going to like the other puppet. I'm going to kick that other puppet in the fucking garbage.
But are you going to want the puppet that likes the dog shit to be punished? Like, that's kind of where it... Really? Okay. So I view that as kind of an urge that we should kind of fight as a civilized society, like... But again, I do have my own kind of political philosophy. A lot of it goes with the live and let live. So if somebody prefers the dog shit, I don't know. Let them have it. That's more for them. I don't want it. But I can definitely understand. It seems like a natural thing that, even babies are kind of doing that. Like, yeah, no, punish the other. It is part of tribalism, and that's something that, I definitely like to get into in a future one. It's quite a big topic, the whole tribalistic thing. But part of it is kind of this in-group or out-group bias. And, they're going to get into it a little bit more. But the whole dehumanizing thing, I would just... I don't know. I would caution the whole punishing the out-group thing. They get into it a little bit here, but definitely still understand. Even if they prefer the green beans, they're still humans.
Yeah, people may harm those whom they perceive to be in an out-group in ways they would not harm in-group members. When someone in our in-group misbehaves, the natural reaction is often to dismiss the behavior as no big deal. But when someone in our out-group does the same thing, we will tend to judge the behavior much more harshly. Indeed, when automatic in-group and out-group distinctions replace conscious and thoughtful reflection, we are more likely to harm one another and behave unethically.
So it's just a concern that we should have. It's not saying that biases are necessarily bad, but to get to that in-group bias definition, it's also known as in-group favoritism or intergroup bias, and it's the tendency for humans to be more helpful and positive towards members of their own group over members of an out-group. And again, part of that could be, dismissing your own group's behavior, but condemning the out-group for that exact same behavior. It's kind of a simple concept, but I don't know. It seems to be very prevalent, and it's something that, I've always been trying to fight against. I don't know. I guess I just don't like team affiliation. I'd like to go anywhere, not just be limited to my little group.
YouTube is filthy with it.
For sure.
There's so many of these little groups of YouTubers who defend the most egregious shit amongst each other. But I think that something about you and I that I've always kind of enjoyed is that we kind of try to rise above it all, and we don't necessarily give a shit what group you're in. We'll talk to you. But that then sometimes does fall into things like, people have beliefs that we just don't agree with, but that doesn't mean we need to,
for sure,
banish them and attack them and ostracize them,
For sure. There's a lot of people in my life that I think are very flawed individuals. I'm not going to just write someone off or cut them off just because they have, a flaw. It would have to be pretty egregious, and it would have to be, I don't know, it would take a lot. That being said, I've definitely cut a lot of people out of my life. I have no pushover or anything like that. But it does have to get to a certain point. It can't just, you've associated with the wrong person, so I'm cutting you out, or you did this thing that I excuse in my own group, but I have to cut you off now because you've associated with the other group, or you're not part of this group strong enough. I don't know. I guess I really don't like that type of behavior.
No, I'm not a cutter-offer, but but there's always something that somebody can do to be like, all right, I'm good on you. But it doesn't mean like that's it. They're the end of the world. It just means, you don't agree.
Yeah.
Okay, he's a guy. He's a thinker. He's an intellectual.
Been reliably informed that the personal is political and everything is politics. So
cheat on me, it's okay if you degrade me, it's okay if you open the house, it's okay, all of these things. I will be okay, all of this. Just somebody please marry me. It's kind of
you like my large breasts, but do you know what it's like to live with them?
Rather than you can beat me into submission, it's okay, I'll still love you, Daddy. I mean, I think
the first thing my chat says is, well, we know where the goatee is.
Enjoy. Oh, fuck you!
Have a nice life.
I'll see you lesbians later.
That's right. The best day of the week is now Thursdays, with every Thursday having a new think on That Darn Kidda's channel. Now, what is a thinker, you may ask? Well, we're a diverse group of open-minded individuals who like to explore ideas and opinions. Feel free to explore the back catalogs. There's a bunch of different things on there, from medical assistance in death, to fathers, to kink, to male loneliness, to even more abstract topics, like why are words? We have a very diverse group of thinkers joining us from all around the world. So please join us for a think. And hey, there may even be a diagram involved.
All right, you ready? Okay. Well, I know you've been saying that you were quite busy at work, but if I'm right, I think you were telling me that you did actually catch quite a bit of movies, though.
Yes.
You seem to have caught up on your back catalog, so to speak. Any gems in there?
Well, my girlfriend and I, that's like our thing. We like to watch movies or shows. And as we're big Marvel people and stuff like that, and everything kind of went to shit. So we're desperate for movies, but we're at the point of movies where we're like, we've accepted the level of, we're living in a B-movie era, basically. So we've accepted that. So, all right, let me go through a couple I've seen. I saw The Dial of Destiny.
Oh, finally. Okay. Yes. Can I ask you, so I have seen this one. I think that's the only one on your list that I've also seen. Okay. What did you think? Out of I don't know, like out of a 10, what would you give it?
Like 6.
Really? Okay. I trust you've seen the other 4 Indiana Jones films?
Oh, of course, I grew up on it. I saw them in the theaters.
Okay, so compared to Crystal Skull, where do you rank this one? Better, worse?
Worse.
Ooh, okay. So I think I've got kind of a hot take on this. I actually thought it was better than Crystal Skull, but I just absolutely hated Crystal Skull. Like, for some reason, every part of that just seemed wrong to me. There was at least like a couple redeeming things in this, despite it being horrible. Like, for me, the franchise should have ended at 3. Like, Last Crusade, we're done. Never needs to be touched again. But I like this a little bit more than the last one. There's no like mutt moment or driving away on a motorcycle at the very end with Indy. I don't know.
I like mutt.
Okay. Well, sorry, I'm taking over your review. I'd love to get your thoughts on it.
Well, I mean, The Dial of Destiny, full disclosure, I wasn't within all my mental capacities when watching this movie. That's all I'll say on that. But I didn't think it was that bad. I get why everybody didn't like that Phoebe Waller chick. She's kind of annoying. It was an unnecessary movie, but it wasn't like the worst fucking movie in the world. And, I'm not going to do any spoilers, but Jesus Christ, the ending of that movie was so stupid. But the ending, the ending was stupid in the last one too.
What about seeing Indiana Jones like bang on his neighbor's door with a baseball bat? Like, is that how you want to see Indiana Jones? Like, keep it down.
And I don't know, maybe these aren't going to be spoilers, so close your ears.
Well, I think that's not a spoiler. It's like at the beginning of the movie, but okay.
No. I mean, like what I'm about to say. Like, they did the typical thing that they do to all these fucking guys that we grew up watching. Like, all right, he's a fucking loser. He lives in a tiny apartment. He probably has like what seems to be a drinking problem. His wife left him. His fucking kid's dead. Like, and then they make him a godfather out of nowhere, which he also failed at. So, like, they ruined Indiana Jones, but like, it was here's how I generally rate a movie. If I can sit and watch the movie without wanting to turn it off, in today's standards, it's already a 5.
That is more of a win than it seems like the average thing for sure.
Yeah. So the movies are starting off with a handicap these days.
Sadly.
So really, I guess if it was like, if we plopped this movie in the midst of a time when there was a lot of great ones, it would be like 1.
Fair enough. I think I'd go with like a 4 on this one and probably like a 3 for Crystal Skull. Like, I think it's better, but not much in my opinion. And I realize that's a hot take for some. I hear a lot of people just hating this with the whole. Well, to introduce time travel and stuff is it's a little weird.
They did aliens in the last one.
Fair enough. I mean, face melting is cool. That seems realistic. But aliens, I don't know. It's a bridge too far for me.
Yeah, and I mean, come on. Let's go back to Temple of Doom, where he's like, "Oh no, Shibai! Oh no, Shibai! Oh no, Shibai!" And he pulls the
Kali
guy's
Ma,
arm out, and it's like,
Kali Ma.
like that was really sick.
That movie is awesome. I love that movie. It is just such a part of my childhood. I can't say enough. I think that's my favorite one, and I understand that's also I think the best one is by far Last Crusade, but my favorite is Temple of Doom. Like, I understand it's not a better movie, but it's my favorite. But I'm sorry, I digress. Back to your review.
It's like it's like being like in a desert. You haven't had a drink in 2 days, and somebody comes up with some brown pissy water. Like, here, I'm gonna fucking. I'll guard.
You're saying you're thirsty in this time, pop culturally.
I'm thirsty for content, and I'll take it all. And I can't. Somebody told me. I think Tiamat told me that She-Hulk is getting a second season.
Yes, I think it's soon as well. Unfortunately, I heard Velma might have been canceled, so I might not get season 2 on that. But as far as I heard, She-Hulk is close.
That's great. That's great news.
I know, you're in luck, man.
Jim Walters all the way. All right, so then to move on from that, then I also watched the last voyage of the Demeter.
Nice.
So this is the story of from Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's the Schwag. Yeah.
I did not recognize it from just Demeter, but yes, okay, that's awesome.
It makes me think of Chronicles of Narnia for some reason.
Yeah, I was thinking fantasy or something, but yes, once you, I mean, I guess it, Dracula, I guess that's fantasy, but cool.
This section of the book that chronicles the captain's log of Demeter, which is the ship that brings Dracula to, I guess, London or the Americas.
Yeah, I don't know. So.
I wasn't paying that much attention.
I think it's Europe, but I could be wrong. So I saw a different version of it like a couple years ago. That was part of it, and it's actually done kind of well. What did you think on this?
So the acting I thought was really great. Mm-hmm. The scenery was incredible. Like, it was like a very large scale film. It was surprising to me how fast they went to video on demand from the theater and how quick and in and out it was.
Yeah,
it was a cool movie. Like, definitely I suggest watching it. You're gonna enjoy it.
Cool.
And no spoilers, but obviously it's a movie about fucking Dracula. And they just fucked Dracula up completely. Like,
really?
Yeah. And
Dracula's very
hard to do. They make him more like Man-Bat than Dracula.
Okay, fair enough.
So, very heavy CGI. Does not look great. But
we said the acting's decent.
Yeah, the ship's captain is Sir Davros Seaworth from Game of Thrones.
Oh, I love that guy. Yeah, that dude's awesome.
He's an excellent actor. There's a couple other big names, but it gets silly in certain spots. But as far as like thumbs up, thumbs down, I'll give it a thumbs up. It was
cool.
It was again. I'll give it a 7 because it starts at a 5.
Ooh.
So
I'll check it out, man.
Let's see what's next. Then I'm trying to think what the fuck Cobweb was about. Nikki made me watch it twice, and she always falls asleep. So I got to watch the movies twice, even if they suck.
I hate that. I've definitely been in that situation before.
But shit, what the fuck? You know what? It was all right. Watch it. It's called Cobweb, and it's a scary movie about a kid whose like parents become not the kid's parents. It's really fucking stupid, to be honest with you. Like, it's got this kid's got problems, and his parents are maybe not who they seem to be, and like their spirits, evil spirit situation. But then the kid goes to school. It's fucking dumb. And he has a substitute teacher, and his substitute teacher starts like showing up at the house. Like, is everything all right with Tommy? And it's like, you're a fucking substitute, all right? You might as well be a dad. Like, go the fuck home. Why are you here at my house? Like, the movie took me out of it by then. But if you like scary, creepy, insidious type movies,
I usually do. I'd never heard of that one. Sorry, with that one you say more positive than negative, or?
I don't know. That was a movie. She likes the horror movies. It was all right. And then we watched Boogeyman.
Okay, I've seen the ad for that one. I haven't, but yeah, I'm familiar with the series, but I don't know. Is that one any good? I think it's like the 3rd or the 4th one in that series.
No, this is a new one. This is like
Oh, is it? They redid Boogeyman. Oh, excuse me. Then no, I'm not familiar with it at all. Which is weird. I usually am into horror, and I actually haven't caught anything for the last little while. I'm really looking forward to this Halloween season. I think I'll catch up.
It's like a typical little girl scared of the dark. She's got an older sister. They move into a creepy house.
I do remember this one now. Now that you mentioned the whole afraid of the dark thing, yes.
It's 2023. This movie.
Yeah.
Every fucking scary movie is there's some kid afraid of the dark. But I don't know. That's my at a scale of 1 to 10. I don't know.
Well, I might skip that one then.
Yeah. Then, if you really want to subject yourself to some fucking special kind of torture.
So this is the one that I think the one that you're going for is the one that I was actually kind of excited for. So I don't know. This kind of concerns me.
With Travolta?
Oh no! So I'm always excited for Travolta, but that was not the one that I was thinking of. Sorry, which Travolta one was this one?
Okay, so this gem of a film is called Mobland, and the only
Oh.
I've seen that's dog shit close to this movie, but somehow worse, is when Travolta plays Gotti.
Oh yes,
My
he has done
girlfriend's
some
got
weird
kind of-
choices recently.
Oh, terrible. His whole God. My girlfriend's got some kind of hard on for him, so she'll watch every goddamn movie he's in.
Phenomenon was a good movie. Okay, I will back up Phenomenon.
It's fucking great, that movie. So this one is just absurd. Like, John Travolta plays a sheriff who's in it like maybe 30% of the movie, and he just shows up to occasionally be like, well, if the sun doesn't shine on a rooster's ass, and just some crazy made up Southern saying, and he's a detective in this movie or a sheriff, and he just offers absolutely nothing to the film. They could have filmed the film without him in it, and it would have been just fun.
But would they have gotten the financing without him? I think the name might
Probably
have made
not.
this movie happen.
There was a couple of names in it. I can't think of the main actor. He's a pretty decent actor. Not awesome, not great, but he was good. I believed him in the role. There was no time where I was like, this guy's not really in distress. But it's basically about these two scumbags who try to rob like a legal like a drug center where they're giving out
Yeah.
medications to like a pain management center, but I think it's like close on heroin and like opiates and things like that. And
fair
so they
enough.
rob it or whatever, and then it turns out, oh no, it's somehow connected to the mafia. And then this sweet little town becomes Mobland. And it's got a twist at the end where you're like, I didn't think that's what was going to happen, but it's so fucking bad. It's like an abortion. Just watch it. Watch it just to watch how bad it is.
There's been a couple of movies that have kind of dug where the twist, it's a bad movie, but the twist was unexpected. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
No. I think I know what kind of genre that would fit into. I think you were going to talk about one other one that I think I was kind of excited for.
Yeah, of course. The Meg Part 2.
That was the one. I don't know. I saw the commercial and I was like, all right, that actually looks like a fun time.
Tell me
I would like to
your
see this
impression
one.
of what happens in this movie is by the previews you saw.
There's a giant shark and it eats a bunch of people, and it looks like an action thriller, if you will. I don't know. It looked like a mindless popcorn movie. It kind of looked like.
Where does it take place? Like, what's the?
So I saw the beaches, so I'm assuming on a boat and in the water, and that's about it.
Well,
Am I wrong? Is it Landshark this time?
Yes, it's Landshark. But you're saying the most obvious things. I'm like, what do you think it's about? You're like, I think it's about a shark.
Well, I couldn't tell you what. I just remember seeing the trailer and being like, all right, it looks decent. I would probably chuckle a few times and not regret that.
Exactly where I wanted you to get it, though, was at the beach. Because when I saw the preview, and my girlfriend and I saw the preview, she picks all the movies. She's a movie picker, whatever reason.
The deciding factor.
We all know why. So we watched the previews and we were like, cool, the fucking Meg is cruising down the Jersey Shore or something, fucking people up, and it's in these populated, and there's gonna be a squid, and there's gonna be giant fucking sea monsters.
That's what I'm thinking from that trailer.
I'm not saying those things aren't in the movie, but that scene that you see in the trailer, swear to God, is about as long as it is in the trailer. That's the extent of what you see of that. The rest is fucking ridiculous. Popcorn movie, but so dumb. They all get mech suits with fucking if you enjoy if you enjoyed the first one, it's a bit different, but if you enjoy the first one, if you enjoyed Pacific Rim.
Mm.
One and two were Pacific Rim. And if you enjoyed those, you'll enjoy this. But it's pure garbage. Like, turn your brain off. Just watch Jason Statham be cool for an hour and 45 minutes, whatever it was, and that's all you're getting out of that, because that's really what it is.
Okay, well that's a shame. I was kind of hoping that one would be a good one. I forgot. I actually did watch a movie this weekend as well. So I actually finally caught Cocaine Bear. I had not seen that one. It's not great, but oh my god, like the character work in that was just actually like way better than I thought it should be for, a stupid flick like that. I thought it was probably the best version of that. I view The Meg probably would be something along those lines, but I actually kind of dug all the characters in this one. It's not horrible. It was more positive than negative. Perhaps I'm being way too light on it, but I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I thought for sure it was going to be just a stupid throwaway flick.
It's one of those movies that I feel like I could skip, but I'm okay that I watched
for sure.
an hour of it.
For sure. And that's kind of what I was hoping for The Meg. Would you say that it doesn't quite hit that?
You can easily put The Meg on. This is I'll tell everybody that's listening who hasn't watched it. You can easily put The Meg on and watch it and just sit back and turn your brain off, and you're going to be fine. You're not going to be like insulted. At the end of the movie, you're like, "Oh, that was not what I thought it was." You're not, but it's going to be exactly what you think it is. It's a fucking movie about a Meg. Three of them actually. But
spoilers.
But it's mostly like Jason Statham. It's this is a weird thing. You remember the little Asian girl from the first movie?
Oh yeah.
The daughter. So she's in it, and
is she?
I don't know. She looks like she's like 15 or 16, but they have her dressed like she's 7. So it's very off-putting. That part of the movie is really off-putting. Like, she even has like weird like pigtails, and I don't think it's a cultural thing. She looks like a child, but then she like acts more adultish, not like sexy or anything, but like
it just seems incongruent.
Yeah, it was like they had an idea and they were like, we're writing her as like she's 9 now because that's how much time passed in the film, but she actually grew and like in puberty matured. The actress.
Yeah, that does kind of take you out of it.
Like
I do kind of hate that. It would be hard
brain.
working with child actors for that reason. Okay, it took us 2 years to do this, but it's 6 months later, so act young. Like I know that'd be weird.
Like Brand in
yeah, exactly. He's kind of one of them that I'm thinking
of. He's like 35 at the end of that movie.
He definitely looks like.
So I got another one though on the theme of sharks, and again I say that we're living in like a B movie era because if you click onto Prime or whatever methodology you use to getting your movies, you can't tell anymore. It's like when you used to go to the video store. Remember when like Blockbuster, you go in and be like covers?
Yeah, you can kind of tell which one is like a made-for-TV movie or whatever. They're getting really good at those thumbnails.
Yeah, amazing. And you go on these things and you're like, all right, like this looks cool. Like there's a thing, and then you start it and it looks like somebody filmed it with their iPhone, and it's like I always say Nikki, my girlfriend, I'm like, I think this is like the porn crew had like some downtime, and they were like, "You guys want to make like a movie where we don't fuck?" And
it looks like the same quality. Like I don't know how they get like the lighting and like the camera to look exactly the same, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not at the porn level or B movie level where I can be like, I recognize her. Like, oh, I didn't recognize that actress place on the back of her head, but
her, yeah,
yes, she's great. But so this movie, if you want to watch a fucking movie, that's like. This should be like hit by like the EFAP fellas, or if anybody wants to do a watch party on this gym. It's called Black Demon.
Oh, I've seen the cover for that one. So that's not a real one. I think I confused it with Black Phone, which was out like 6 months ago or something.
That was terrible. But not
it looked kind of cool, like stylistically, like the shots looked kind of cool. But yeah, I didn't like that movie that much.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like bad. It just wasn't good. But this movie had like a couple of people in it. I think they're decent actors. Hold on, I'll look the guy's name. Josh Lucas, you know him?
Oh, yeah. I've seen him in a couple things.
He's in a bunch of shit. And then the main actress, I don't know who the hell she was. But there's a couple randos in there that were like maybe one or two known names and then the rest no names. This was like sci-fi quality. Like I'm talking sci-fi, not like the sci-fi
like
channel.
Sci-Fi Channel.
1996.
Yeah. I know that quality of movie.
Like Stargate Atlantis, the series had way better CGI than this shit.
Yeah, that's kind of what they aspire to be. It's like we've got Stargate Atlantis at home. Is the that version of the sci-fi movies, but it somehow it can hold a candle. Like you can see what they were trying for. Didn't quite get it.
Yeah. So this movie's about a couple of sharks, and they're.
So you're on a shark tear this week.
Yeah. So they like superpower these sharks somehow. I don't even remember how.
Oh yeah, I mean for science, you've got to.
Yeah.
How else will we test our drugs?
Sharks into super intelligent death machines, but they're doing it.
How else are we going to test the new cutting-edge steroids if not on sharks?
Yeah, no, on a fucking crazy shark. So these sharks, obviously, they figure out how to like kill people, and they manage to find an oil refinery to hide on or something. And it's just like the silliest things. It's like, I'm half in the water, like get me out. And the guy's like, no. And the shark, the CGI shark has come in, and he's like, it's just garbage. It's just really bad garbage. So everybody skip that one. Save yourself the $3.99 rental or the hour and a half of brain damage. But I think that's really it. I watched Elemental. That was a cute little children's movie. Very
I think it's hard for them to like fully fail on one, even if it's not the greatest. I don't know. Would you say it's? Would you say it's better than Cars? Is that? I think Cars to me is the lowest one. Is it at least better than that? It's a personal thing, but that's just kind of where I'm at. I never liked the Mater thing, I guess.
Have you ever seen the Cars thing where they show you like the inside of the cars, like, and it's some like humanoid, like stuck into the car, and its face is on the car, like, and it's masked, and it like its legs and
no.
You never.
I haven't seen this, but I'll try and look for the image. If I can find it, it'll be here.
After I saw this, I ruined the Cars movies for me. I liked them when they came out. My kid was obsessed with them, obviously. But it's like basically, it's some fan theory that the cars are not beings themselves, but they're like exoskeletons for humans.
That's an interesting theory.
To a point where we wear the car outside of ourselves. And so, but the human inside of the car is still alive, but it's like the Matrix, and they're you know.
I'll have to look for that graphic, and then I might have to rewatch it with that in mind, because I only saw it once. It was like when it first came out, and I just thought it was trash. But I was kind of super against Larry the Cable Guy at the time, so I think I was a little bit biased going in. So I don't know. I was also probably at the wrong age for that. But sorry, getting back to Elemental, do you think it ranks higher for that? Higher than Cars for you? Or where would you go with the Pixar film?
Cars is too far removed from this film as far as time is concerned. Like this Cars and a lot of these movies, when we first got them, we were still in the like, holy shit, like
this is good.
You know,
fair
like,
enough.
Wow, like it's not a cartoon. Now it's just like I like Zootopia. I like a bunch of these kids movies because I watch the kids, and Nikki loves Disney, so and we always watch the fucking kids movies. But it was
there's nothing wrong with that, man.
It was exactly like every one of these movies, though. Just a real life situation with some. I just don't get why they keep doing like they're like let's make a movie about feelings. Like each feeling is a thing. Let's make a movie.
Yeah, it does feel like the last one was kind of similar, or not last one, but yeah, it does feel like it's similar territory to that last one that I can't remember the name of.
Fire and water. How did fire and water ever get along? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. They fall in love.
Come on, you boil the water a little bit. Fair enough. I'm assuming it's not a horrible film, and I'm just assuming like the animation looks pretty good.
It's cool. I mean, it's a kids movie.
Yeah, it's Pixar.
I'm gonna skip over. I got like two more I want to talk about, but I'm gonna skip over. I tried, and maybe some of our audience members will be into One Piece.
Oh, so have you watched the anime at all, or read the manga?
No.
Okay, how was the live action going in there blind?
Horrendous.
I think you do have to be in a... So do you watch any anime, really? Like, you ever watch any of the classics, like Dragon Ball? Anything newer than that?
No, I mean,
okay, fair enough.
I know what anime is. I've seen anime. I've enjoyed some. But I never got into any of the series.
Fair enough. From a bunch of people who like the One Piece manga and anime, I'm hearing that it's pretty good adaptation, that it's much more like one for one than a lot of the other ones that have been done. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen that Dragon Ball Evolution movie, but it's so horrible.
Is One Piece a popular anime?
Yeah, it's one of the longest running ones out there. Yeah, it's super popular. I kind of tried it and I did not get hooked, so I kind of stopped. So I got to admit, I'm not super familiar with it.
What are they fucking thinking about when they're picking these things?
Well, they
Like,
get new
oh,
powers and stuff, man. It's kind of cool. It's pirates, but anime.
No, but I'm saying, like, what are they thinking about, like, Netflix? Like, let's adapt
Oh.
a fucking anime. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's a huge one. So it was probably put into the works back when they had like Cowboy Bebop and stuff too. Like I'm sure it's been in the works for a while. It wasn't just let's do this, but it is one of the longest running ones. Like it's still going now. So I don't know. I can see the appeal of doing that, but every live action version that I've seen, I have not really dug. So I don't know. I guess I would just rather have the anime. But I don't know. It's interesting.
Really bad acting and like I get that's how it's supposed to be like reflected. But if you're gonna cross platforms to live action, then make it fucking live action. Don't make it like, oh my god, what's happening? It's like,
it's pretty close to how the anime is, from what I understand. I only made it through a couple of episodes of the actual anime, but yeah, I realized it's not really my cup of tea.
I like older like anime movies. Like I was obviously like Akira.
Yeah, Akira's awesome.
When it came out, they throw live action of that every couple of years.
Yeah, and
but even like something like that I'm gonna butcher this fucking guy's name. Miyazaki
Miyazaki. Yeah, Miyazaki, the like Studio Ghibli ones.
Yeah, the what's
all of his are great.
What's the one with the girl? Well, they're all that.
Like the Little Mermaid girl one, or the what does the girl do? Sorry, there's Spirited Away. Yeah, that one is so cool. Sorry, there's also like Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away. Yeah, like all of those are super cool. Nausicaa, I think, is my favorite.
That would be great. But then
For sure.
the problem is they're going to be like, we need to be respectful of the cultures. And they're going to make them fucking like everything weird and like I don't care if they make them Asian or something, but they're going to. I hate when they try to match the talking up, like for a live action from an anime, because you're going to just confuse it. Just make them talk like normal people.
Yeah, it's definitely it would be kind of tough to do that, and a lot of anime is kind of known for like really bad dubbing too, or really strange dubbing. Usually, Studio Ghibli has like some really good ones. They tend to get like a lot of celebrities to come in and do the voiceovers on those. But
what was it like? Princess Mononoke. I think I'm probably wrong, but I think James Vanderbeek.
I think so. I think Sarah Michelle Gellar was in one of those ones too. I can't remember exactly who was which voice. I'd have to go back. It's been over a decade since I've seen most of those.
An interview with them, and they were talking about how they had a really difficult time changing the way that they talk to match up, because they're like, you can't just say a fucking sentence. You have to be like, you can't be like, oh, hey, how are you today? You have to be like, how are you today? Oh! Yeah,
which is why some of that acting is like so amazing. Like, I don't know. I like cheesy anime. So like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, like all those are just like amazing to me. Yeah. So I like the cheesy acting, and that's part of it. Like it really adds to it. But yeah, that would be tough to try and act that way, especially if you're used to actually being like a traditional character.
I'm gonna make two more recommendations.
Hell yeah!
So I got a 3-month free trial from Apple TV.
Nice. Yes. I have been wondering if I want to like actually push that lever or whatever and actually do that. I don't know, but there's a bunch of cool stuff on there. What have you checked out on Apple?
Okay, now let me just tell you with Apple TV, their shows are a little bit slow. Like a little bit of a slow burn. But give it up for fucking Apple TV. They're coming up with like original content, new new concepts, good actors, great production. Like they have a lot of shit, but there's like maybe 7 or 8 shows that are on right now that are fucking phenomenal. Like this was one of the ones I was going to talk about, but I watched the show Severance.
Okay, I've heard a lot of good thing about it, but I have not seen that at all. I'm very much blind to that one. Just told, let's watch it.
It's really, it will fuck your head up. The basic premise of it is that there's an opportunity to have your brain split into two basically, where you have your work consciousness and you have your home consciousness, and the two of them are not aware of each other completely. So the minute you step into work,
Yeah, you're a different person.
Consciousness, and then you step out, and nothing that's personal, but a lot, and obviously there's complicated shit that goes on. But the concept of it, is amazing because you're like, yeah, I'd love to forget about work, just only remember. But if there's something happening, there's a whole other being there that's like a separate person. It's a really great concept. The acting is amazing. John Turturro is in it.
Oh, nice. I love that guy as well.
I'm trying to think of the name of the actor. He was on Parks and Recreation. He played the love interest of Leslie. He's been in a bunch of this. He's in Step Brothers as well. Older Brothers. He was in Hot Tub Time Machine Part 2.
Oh, Adam Driver? Or not Adam Driver. Adam, what the hell is his name? But yeah, I know the guy that you're thinking of.
That guy. He's in it.
Now I'm blanking on his name.
Bunch of good actors. It's a must watch, I have to say. But it's okay. So the other ones that we just finished catching up on, the Invasion, which is on Apple TV.
Nice.
Pretty good invasion story. Don't expect like Independence Day and aliens coming at everything. It's more about like the story, about the people. But it drags like a motherfucker. Like it's shit like just wildly unnecessary parts. Like the guy's like, I gotta pack my bag. And he packs his bag. They show him packing everything into the bag, and then when he gets to his destination, they show him unpacking everything out of the bag and looking at everything like, this is my army shirt. And it's like, dude, just fucking, we got it. We packed it and unpacked it. Like, move it along. So, like, the actual information you're getting in an hour episode is probably like 25 minutes. Everything else is filler garbage. But it's pretty cool.
Sucks.
But there is now, so far, about 4 or 5 episodes into this, and I think it's a gem. It's called The Morning Show. Is that right?
Morning Show. I don't think I'm familiar with that one.
It's starring. Why am I so terrible with names? It's starring the girl from Friends, Jennifer Aniston.
Nice.
And I'm looking it up as we're talking. I probably should have been prepared for this. Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, Billy Crudup.
Crudup.
Mark Duplass.
Okay. Yeah, I like that dude from the league.
He's good. Nestor Carbonell. He was in Lost. And then a bunch of other actors that you'll recognize, but you may not actually know their names. So it's basically about a morning show. Steve Carell plays the host of the morning show, and he gets accused of sexual misconduct.
Oh.
And immediately.
So is it like a Matt Lauer thing?
Sort of. But he's immediately fired. It's very questionable what he was actually accused of. But then a power vacuum comes into play with Jennifer Aniston being the co-host, and Reese Witherspoon comes in as like this young whippersnapper they throw in the mix to mix things up. Why they have her as young?
Yeah, I was gonna say young. I mean, she's a couple years younger than Jennifer, but not by much.
It works though, and
okay.
And Reese Witherspoon's character is very likable because she's like, her politics or whatever, but she's they try to make her scripted and towing the company line, and she just isn't about it. Like right in the middle of it, she'll pull her earpiece out and be like, why do you fucking do that? Like it's very good. So far, I would highly recommend The Morning Show. It's
nice.
It's like there's no fucking superheroes, there's no aliens. It's just good TV.
Nice. I'll check it out, man. That actually sounds good. Yeah, I've been impressed with a couple of the shows from there, from Apple TV.
They're great. We're going through them one at a time, and we're going to try The Expanse next. That looks really good.
I hear nothing but good things about it. Haven't checked that one out either. Well, I'm pretty sure you're experiencing much of the same that I've been experiencing, but yeah, my ears have been burning this week. It appears our friends have been talking about us quite a bit. Yeah, I guess with no further ado, let's get right to it.
Yeah, all right. So basically, if you guys watched my channel this past week, you'll know that I was sent a link to a stream by someone who I guess they were reacting to a tweet thread between myself and them. And this is someone that I was familiar with outside of Twitter, named Master Schwag King. And
First off, it's the Master Schwag King. There can only be one. But it is, MSK. He's a creator. He used to be on YouTube. He did have his channel yeeted. He has since moved to other platforms. But, I have a bit of a history with this guy. So I had debated Bob, and after I debated Bob, MSK actually talked to me and asked me if I wanted to come on. So that was, like 5 months ago now or something like that. So I've known the guy for a little while. But, apparently he got into a Twitter battle with AirRick. So, let's let him explain.
MSK. And the reason why I know this person is a couple years ago, they had asked me to collab with them. And I saw them around, and I got a bad vibe from it. I was like, something doesn't seem right about this, because I'd seen them in other people's streams interacting with stuff. Almost nothing more.
So fair enough. He's saying that he got a bad vibe from MSK, and he decided not to stream with him. No big deal. So I think MSK reached out to AirRick just like he did to me. It appears he reaches out to quite a few people. I think he streams like hell. It's almost every day, and he does like multiple shows a day. I don't know how the dude streams as much as he does, but he tries to get different guests on everyone. Like if you notice the one that they're looking at now, he's got like 7 guests plus him on that show. So I'm just saying.
He invited me on a couple times. We never really had a chance to connect. We talk here and there, but I don't really know that much about as far as his content or his past or his history.
He's an interesting fella. He seems to try for some really offensive jokes. He likes shock factor. That being said, for sure. For knowing him a little while, I got to say he's definitely inflammatory, but he's got a heart of gold. You do have to kind of get through this really rough structure and whatever you want to call that, outer layer, to kind of see the that gooey soft inside that he has. But I personally like the guy. He reminds me of a couple people I knew growing up. But I can see how he would not be everyone's cup of tea. He's definitely offensive. I can see how that would turn a lot of people off. So this was Eric's original video from a couple days ago, where he made some inflammatory, I'd say, remarks or accusations about MSK. So let's let him kind of explain this here for just a little bit.
More satisfying than when somebody provides you with a link, a clip, a piece of information that simply confirms that the way you felt about someone, the way you believe them to be, is absolutely the kind of person that they are.
Do you get a lot of pleasure when your feeling of how somebody is confirmed? I don't know. That just seems weird to me. I don't like to prejudge people and then is it going to be correct? Is this going to be correct? But sorry, how do you feel about it?
If I can be, I'm going to try to be very fair today. So if I could be as fair as possible to Eric in this, what he's trying to say here is, it's almost like if somebody keys your car, right? Like you come out and somebody keys your car and you're like, fuck. But if you walk out and you catch somebody keying your car, you can be the unmerciful fuck out. And that is satisfying. Like to catch the fucker doing the thing that really you is satisfying. So if that's what he means, I get what he means by it's satisfying to actually catch someone in the act of doing something fucked up.
I completely agree with your scenario. I don't know. I feel like that might not be the type of scenario that he's talking about, because apparently he just saw somebody, he had some prejudgment on them, and then was waiting for them to kind of live up to that. I fear that that's kind of, instead of just okay, I caught this dude in the act, it's more of so I fear it might be confirmation bias. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. Yeah, it's basically just kind of the concept that, you only look for those things that confirm your preconceived notion. I wonder if that isn't playing into factor with this, because he previously said there's nothing more satisfying than when you confirm something that you believed about. And then he's going to have another statement that also kind of confirms that. I'm not positive that that's what's happening, but it does seem like we have a tendency to kind of ignore things that don't match with our preconceived notions.
The thing is, though, in what he's saying, it's like if you call every fucking person, you think every person that you talk to that disagrees with you is a bigot, and, that they're going to be saying bigoted things. One person out of the 500
says things that you definitely think is bigoted
happens to fill that quota for you. It's not like it shouldn't be a satisfying thing.
It shouldn't be, and that's where I think that whole confirmation bias thing is. It's kind of like playing a game with yourself, where it's like, I'm going to see this, and then the information that you see kind of fits that, and you kind of get that reward in your mind of, I was right. I don't know. I'm thinking that's kind of at play, but again, I don't know for sure. I could be wrong.
Like,
I would just fear that could be.
It's like going through your girlfriend's phone or something. Like you're gonna find something you don't like in there. They're gonna have
Probably, but the fact that you'd want to do that and you don't trust them probably says something in the beginning. Like,
yeah, that's a flag in and of itself. But I'm saying, like, if you're looking,
gotta say, I haven't had a girlfriend that I've been like, you know what I need to do? I need to look through her phone right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually like, you should go.
Yeah, and I think that might be what he's doing. Like, you're a bigot. Let me see how you're a bigot. Let me see where you line up on this bigot scale. I just fear that might be what he's doing, but I could be wrong here. But let's let him go.
There's almost nothing better than that. That just confirms that you were absolutely right from the beginning. In this clip, well, in the video, they use the F Slur towards me.
So he's saying they. This is just MSK. He is just the host of his own show. But I don't know why Eric is referring to him as they. It is him. It is the MSK. The Master Schwag King. Yeah, it could be. He doesn't know his pronouns, so he's just using they to be safe. Could be. He's going to make it seem like it was everybody on the panel. It's just MSK.
Twice. Right? They use it 2 times. They use it.
So they used the F Slur twice, is what he's saying. So I could definitely see how somebody would think that is egregious. I've also streamed with LG, and he feels free to use the N word, another slur, if you will. I don't know. I don't feel like it's my place to necessarily
LG's black.
Police. Yes. So is MSK, by the way. Not that means that just because of your skin color you can use slurs. I think it's a personal choice, and I think it's up to every person, what language they deem acceptable for themselves to use. I think it becomes a bridge too far when you decide what language somebody else can use. And I feel like that's a lot of what the Fandom Initiative does, and that's what I don't like. And it feels like they're trying to put this on us a little bit. But I'm just saying, nobody is saying that what MSK is saying is correct, but he is the only one doing it. I just don't want it to confuse that everybody on this panel or whatever is saying these slurs about Eric. It is just one guy.
I want their names.
So far, it's just MSK.
Right,
not specifically toward me at the beginning, but then specifically towards me the second time. And then
can you turn the volume up at all?
I have it at full blast. I don't have a way to turn it up any higher than this. But he is kind of correct that at one point he didn't necessarily call him that, and then the other time he called him that directly. So he has kind of clarified in other streams that he's not using F Slur to mean a gay person. He's calling it a bunch of behavior. I still wouldn't agree with it. I wouldn't call that myself, but he's not necessarily using it in the way that Eric is trying to say that he's using it. But, he does have a point. It is rather crude language. I myself would not use that slur, so I could definitely see how he would find that distasteful. But he does go a little bit further than that.
Aggressive shit saying that by interacting with me, they might have caught AIDS. And then they...
So he's not saying by interacting with him. He was saying by watching his video, he might catch AIDS. Now, granted, that is a shitty joke. It's not a great joke. I'm sure hearing that, everybody didn't just crack up. But it is kind of that, watching this will give me cancer type of joke. Is it necessarily the most funny thing? No, but, I wouldn't say that nobody can make a cancer joke. I definitely wouldn't say that nobody can make an AIDS joke. He didn't think that he's actually going to contract a disease from watching his video. It was intended in comedy. I could also understand how somebody would think that that's not good speech to use. They wouldn't condone using it.
Yeah, so we're probably going to, separate a little bit on our...
I think so. I usually have a much harder stance than most people on freedom of speech and freedom of jokes. So I assume we're not in a lockstep on this.
I don't think it was okay. Personally, I think it was fucking terrible. I can work this properly. I think it was a fucked up thing for MSK to do. I don't think that he should use that kind of language, especially towards a gay dude. I don't think jokes about AIDS and gay dudes is funny. I think it's fucking gross. And I don't even feel like they were good jokes. I've heard jokes about AIDS, and I've heard jokes about gay dudes, and these didn't, and I know we have a different opinion, but these didn't feel like jokes to me. These felt like,
for sure,
I'm calling him the F Slur. I'm calling him the F Slur. I'm not saying, don't be an F, don't be a, oh, you guys are acting like Fs. That's not what we said. He was calling a gay guy, and not just a gay guy, but a guy who's outspoken about this kind of stuff, who is highly sensitive to it, and has, I don't know, lived through crises in his life. I mean,
yeah.
We'll get further into that because I'm not saying
I get exactly what you're saying.
Eric's a good guy. DJ Eric's
Yeah.
not a good guy.
No, and I get exactly what you're saying, and I fully agree with you. I think these jokes were in bad taste. I'm not defending these jokes. I do want to defend the attempt, and that is, to get a good AIDS joke, to get a good gay joke, it comes from the exact same place as a bad joke. Like, you have to have that option open to get there, and that's what I want. I want the option for comedy open. I agree with you. I would never say these words. I wouldn't say that to Eric. I wouldn't call him that. I feel like it's very bad. But I do want to defend the fact that he was trying for comedy here. Again, it's a very poor attempt, but the attempt is what I have to defend.
I don't think that MSK is out there I don't think he's a bigot. I've talked to the guy a couple times. I think he's nice enough to me. I don't harbor any ill will for him, but I think he's kind of a fucking moron for saying things. What the fuck is the matter with
I mean, when I'm on his thing, I'm generally there to mock him and to dunk on him. I've gone on there to defend the Barbie movie against them.
Sure.
I've gone on there to essentially call them all out for using the term liberal. They really should be using leftists or illiberals. The people that they're kind of talking shit on are the people who don't have liberalism in there. So I'm trying to get them to switch their take on that. But I feel like I'm generally kind of the opposition when I'm on that show. And it's kind of fun. I think I've been on there 10 times or so. And I hear the criticism that it's in poor taste.
Yeah. I've never streamed with MSK. I've streamed a couple of the guys. I probably won't again. I don't give a fuck.
Fair enough.
Necessarily.
Yeah, everyone has their own line. And I think, Eric definitely agrees with you, and he took those jokes in the same way that you took them, that they are offensive. And I fully agree. Those are offensive jokes.
Yeah. It's everybody's got their line, and I got to be true to myself and beast as I am.
Hey, that's what we want you to do, man. Just be honest.
My line is calling a gay dude the F Slur. So
yeah, neither of us would do it. It definitely seems over the line.
We wouldn't. I know you wouldn't either. And I know that you're very much into that people should have the right to try to make a joke and those kind of things. So I feel like you're clean in all this.
Yeah, I mean, guilt by association. I'm on his show quite regularly. And then apparently it's poor taste, the timing in which I guessed it on there, which fair enough. I understand that criticism. We'll get to that when it comes up. But yeah, I mean, I can see a couple ways where I would definitely seem guilty. But other than guilt by association, I don't know. I'm not saying this stuff. And I'm not defending that anyone should be saying this stuff. But,
yeah,
I've heard some really good AIDS jokes. And I can't.
What is the most offensive joke that you've ever written?
If only Africa had more mosquito nets, then every year we could save millions of mosquitoes from dying needlessly of AIDS.
A California man has sued McDonald's, claiming he contracted AIDS from one of its pork sandwiches. McDonald's disputes his charge, but the man insists, quote, "That sandwich gave me AIDS just as sure as I'm a male prostitute."
Jokes. And I can't think that we would just cut off an entire subject from jokes. Same thing with cancer. I think with a lot of people, it actually adds to kind of the healing or dealing with the situation. Gallows humor is a thing. Dark humor is a thing. And it's cathartic sometimes.
But, I mean, again.
No, I get it. And these are the wrong people to think that, they could handle a joke or that they would understand a joke. This is the exact type of person who's going to take this as serious and, report anything or try and get every sort of...
I would take it differently if, Eric and Dane and Turf and Pop were showing up to a comedy show somewhere and
they're
having
for sure.
jokes about gay dudes and about having AIDS or maybe catching AIDS. This was not a joke. This was a pointed fucking comment made towards somebody he didn't like and he was retaliating against because of whatever he said. So I
don't know if it's a pointed comment to say, I could get AIDS from watching it, though. I understand what you're saying.
What's the point of that fucking joke?
What's the point of saying, I'm going to get cancer from watching this, or, feminism is cancer? It's inflammatory on purpose, and it's supposed to be over the line. It's supposed to be outrageous and shocking. That's kind of what he's going for. I don't think he thinks of his show as, a serious show. I don't know. No, the other day, he dunked on himself so hard. He tried to bring up this article didn't realize like it was from a Christian site until like the very last line where it was written like facetiously, like, and that's why we all need Jesus or what. Like the dude dunks on himself constantly.
Yeah, I mean, he's fucking retarded. Like,
I haven't seen his medical records, but the dude seems functional. Fair enough.
He can be funny. I've heard him be very funny. I just don't think this was funny. I think it was shit.
Yeah.
And again,
I don't think it was funny either.
I don't think Eric's a good person. I think he's a fucking asshole. I think he's a liar. I think he's made an asshole out of me a few times, and I've let him. And see, the thing is about slurs and about these kind of things is that, like, I once heard one of my kids using a slur on a game, and I had to have talk with him about it. And I was like, "You're not racist. You're not bigoted. Why?"
No, but he's using that gamer language. It would be tough as like an impressionable kid to be in like one of those lobbies.
Exactly, and we had to have a talk about it. And I told him this is not a word. These are not words we use. And I said basically, so using words like this, dude, it's not. They don't. Using the F slur doesn't make you a bigot. All it does is give people the right to call you.
For sure.
And if you're not a bigoted person and you don't have these kind of hateful things in your heart, maybe skip using these fucking words. Like,
yeah, I think that's what we choose not to.
Media. Exactly. And we're on social media, and there's certain words that everybody chooses to not use for one reason or another. We say grape, or we say
Roblox, or on a live.
Roblox. There's a million other fucking words you could use.
Taking a Dane.
And taking a Dane. And beyond that, why would you hand this guy, of all fucking people, the mighty Thor hammer of bigotry to crack him back in the head with? It's just fucking stupid. So if you're not a person,
I hear that for sure.
Don't use these fucking words. It's that simple. If you're a comedian, you're writing a fucking joke, write your joke, make your joke, say whatever the fuck you want. But if you're some asshole fighting with some other asshole who's happens to be gay and outspoken about it, skip the fucking
It definitely
words.
seems like, your shot had better actually be good if you're going to take that in that situation. I don't think it was. The only thing that I would want to, again, defend is the attempt. Like, I just don't think you can get a good joke without having the same place that bad joke is coming from. I think these were bad jokes. So I want him to have the capability to say these bad jokes. I think they were bad jokes, for sure. There's a reason why neither of us would say that.
Exactly.
Follow that up with because he's a gay guy.
Is that a microaggression? It seems like a, I don't know.
That seems like just an aggression.
Yeah. I could definitely see how somebody would take that as an aggression. MSK was definitely trying to talk shit to him, and I feel like, that's what he did. He was doing it aggressively, for sure. He thought he was doing it in a comedic fashion. I don't know. It doesn't seem to land. I know, practically nobody listening to this would think that that's acceptable to do.
This was a tit for tat, though. This was like a...
Sort of. Like, they were going back and forth on Twitter. So MSK definitely has kind of explained it on his stream. I don't really know much of what they were going through. My whole beef in this is that AirRick then said, like, everyone on the panel is part of this bigoted safe space. So that would imply anyone who ever goes on a show is part of a bigoted safe place. And they condone the actions of MSK because they didn't immediately, chastise him and say that they disavow this entire thing. Because they didn't do that, it is a bigoted safe place, and all these people, condone this action. I think that's a stupid way to look at it, but if you're going to look at it that way, you also have to look at your own group. You can't use that in-group bias to just dismiss what your own group is doing. So if he has that standard, then his whole group is just the same thing. It is a bigoted safe space who will only talk to themselves, who are too cowardly to actually go out and deal with any other part of the real world because they just want to sit in their bigoted little safe space and talk their bigoted language. I think that is very akin to what is going on with, his whole, I guess you'd call it, criticism of MSK. But it's not really just saying, like, he disagrees with what he's saying. It's condemning anybody who's ever been on that panel. And I think that's where I took umbrage to it. I really don't like guilt by association. I don't think anybody who has ever come on their panel is guilty of the same actions that these guys are. But I think these guys are not looking at their own actions. And Turf, I don't know anything that Turf has ever done that's over the line. I disagree with him on a lot of things. But I don't know. Turf only gets lumped in because he's usually on screen with these guys. Other than that, he's not the same, really. But, again, I'm not saying that these guys are all guilty of something because of association. That's the problem that I'm taking with what AirRick is doing. So, sorry, I'll let him go on again, and then I think I've got another clip from the original.
Before you restart him, I just want to even like back up your point a little bit, see if I'm understanding correctly. You're not taking a side one way or another, and you're not saying like you're just saying that they are saying that everybody that goes on that show is guilty by association. Therefore, if they took their own logic and applied it on themselves, then they're all fucked up too.
Yes, 100%. I think you said it way more succinctly than I just did. Thank you for trying to clarify that. If I said that confusing, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Hold a mirror up to yourself. If you're making this accusation, hold that same standard for yourself. And I just don't feel like these guys are.
It's like Chunky Monkey. Nobody thinks that it's racist because he said Chunky Monkey. Nobody.
No.
We just think that if somebody else said Chunky Monkey, Dane would call them a racist.
Exactly. There is zero shot that he would ever excuse that for anybody else. Like, no, he didn't just say that. It was just a slip of the tongue. He didn't mean it that way. He didn't think it through. There's zero shot that he would ever give anybody else that same courtesy. Right. That is our entire thing. By your standards, Yeah. No more racist. I don't think so. And that was never the actual accusation. But I think that might actually come up with some of what I think Mustard has said about this.
Say it is. Yeah, you can say it is. Racist. And then all the stuff you saying about the F slurs and the comment about AIDS, they were laughing about it in the stream.
So it was an attempt at humor, and it was to catch people off guard and be outrageous.
I said, so either they are homophobic or they are okay with homophobia.
So again, that's everybody on the panel is either homophobic or okay with homophobia. So again, if we're to hold that same standard to these guys, which again, I think it's a stupid standard. I don't hold them to this, but they would hold themselves to this. So all of those Uncle Tom comments, that is literally calling a black man a slur. They were all cool with it. They all laughed at that. Bob said, well, it's not inaccurate. Numerous times.
It's the same standard.
It is. So it's not hypocrisy. It's literally the same standard. It's this in-group bias thing. You are dismissing it on your side because they're part of your side. I don't go down with that really horrible way of tribalism. I think egregious acts are egregious, regardless of who's doing it. And that was my point with Dane as well. And we'll get into that as that comes up. But let's let Eric talk about this a little bit more.
I made it very explicit in my video. From what I've been told now at this point, is that this person uses that kind of language all the time.
He does.
They say that kind of stuff, and it makes sense.
He is a filthy-mouthed, I don't know, you definitely have a feeling on MSK. I like the guy. I think he is like, a sailor with a heart of gold, so to speak. He at least swears like a sailor, and he just says the most egregious, outrageous things to try and shock people. I can see how that's not anyone's cup of tea, how a lot of people would be turned off by that, and basically saying, he is not what I want to associate myself with. Fair enough. I think everyone has the right to do that. That being said, I don't... Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I don't think Eric needs to be the arbiter of, what people can and can't say. My whole thing is I think he should be able to say it.
Because the people that were with him did not bat an eyelash when those words came out, when those phrases came out. And typically that means that they're accustomed to that. Oh,
sorry. But he also had a very bad false binary that either you're homophobic or you are okay with it. I can't remember the exact binary that he set up, but it's like that those are the only two options. I don't know. It just really sucks. But then he kind of goes to this again.
You can't be racist. You can't be against racism. You have to be, actively anti-racist.
Yeah, exactly. There is no neutrality or anything like that.
Some people just don't want to be bothered. Like, some people are non-confrontational and not going to say, don't say that shit.
Yeah.
If they don't like it,
it's just a false binary. I just forgot to say anything that even that binary he sets up is very false. He does that again in the future. I'll point it out when it actually comes up.
The person's saying, right? Yeah. They say it enough that the guests on there aren't bothered by it. So he decides, I'm going to make a stream and F Slur this guy and talk about him catching AIDS from him.
So first off, MSK does not decide anything ahead of time. Like, everything for him really is just like off the top of the dome. This dude does not script anything. He did not decide, what I need to do is create a stream and F Slur this guy. He does speak that way. It did come out twice. He said it 2 times in this 3-hour stream. He said the F Slur. I can understand why anybody would be against that. But it's not like he decided, I'm going to make this stream to say the F Slur at this guy. One of the topics that he brought up on this Rumble cast was, hey, I got into this Twitter battle with this guy. It's like one segment of it, kind of like we have segments of the show. That's about the only comparison that we have between these two shows. But, it's just the way that he's framing this. He didn't just create a stream to call him the F Slur. That would be really stupid.
That was the rational next step to the conversation that we were having. And then my response to this was exactly.
And then there's a guy on his stream. I actually like this guy a lot, Iron Oxide. He's a cool guy. His wife also, shout out to her. But he then was responding to AirRick. It doesn't seem like super egregious stuff. I know, I do believe MSK is going to go over this in the next few days on his stream. I'm pretty sure Iron Oxide would be there, and he would definitely defend his tweets and everything. I don't know. I wasn't included with any of the Twitter stuff, so I'm not sure exactly how this is going down, but it doesn't sound so egregious to me, his responses here.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem bad, but I just want to say, too, like, AIDS was is a terrible thing, and it was obviously, the gay community was heavily affected by it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everybody knows somebody who died of AIDS. It's not mutually exclusive to the gay community.
Oh, yeah. And if we haven't already made the point, like, my whole stance is there should be no subject that is off limits of jokes. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, that's okay. And I think you and I might have a slightly different definition of a joke and
sure.
Maybe the environment for it. But
for sure.
But I'm gonna go ahead and say that DJ AirRick, all right, fine, you're gay and AIDS, okay? So you keep talking about living through the fucking AIDS epidemic. What were you, like, 9? Like, the 80s.
Technically, he lived through it. I mean, a 9-year-old still existed in the time.
Yeah. I mean, technically, I lived through a lot of fucking shit. And you know what? I'm sure, he's known a lot more gay guys with AIDS than I have. But I've known a lot of straight guys who got AIDS. I know women who've had AIDS, who got AIDS and HIV. It's not exclusive to him. Like, you don't own fucking AIDS. Like, the way he aimed this joke at you, fine. But it's not the first time I've ever heard you be like, I have had friends die.
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
like
it is a lot of pearl clutching. Oh my.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, again, I think it was a scumbag joke. I think it was a stupid fucking thing to say. But, like, stop clutching your fucking pearls.
Yeah, for sure.
I had friends who died from AIDS. Literal human beings that I knew that I cared about.
We all fucking
again, like you.
It was a massive fucking pandemic on the country.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's any subject that should be off limits from jokes. I think that would be putting different things on different pedestals. I mean, I could definitely hear the argument for the time and the place, but I don't know. This dude is doing an entertainment show on Rumble. He's trying to make a joke. I don't know. I'm going to, again, argue that he should have the attempt to do that. They make it known that it's like a free speech platform. So, I don't know. I see no reason why he couldn't do what he's doing. But I can definitely understand, your... I would say reticence to be anywhere near that and, not wanting to be associated with it in any way and definitely not condoning it. So it's perfectly understandable to me.
Died from AIDS. And they respond to that with another dumb-ass response, sort of trying to pander to me.
I don't know if you noticed that there, but so shout out to Ripper vs. Goalpost. That is a bunch of us on his desktop. He has a whole bunch of pictures of Patrick the starfish, and then a whole bunch of different mustards, along with clips of videos of our streams. So
along with a bottle of Jergens and
well, that was in the background. You couldn't necessarily see that, but he does seem to have files on us. He made a little whoopsie there, but he's gonna play it off. Everything's cool.
I'm so sorry for your loss. And then they go, but I believe that this was it was something targeted towards the gay community, blah, 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 whatever. Fuck all that. Your friend said this. I don't care about your sorry for the loss or whatever. I don't care about any of this. You were on a stream with someone who called me the F Slur and said that they could catch AIDS from me. And you decide you're
by watching his video.
Your fucking podcast.
Yeah, just fucking...
Yeah, I know. But I mean, it's not that he thinks that he will actually...
Would he say AIDS? I'm going to get AIDS from watching this fucking show. If DJ wasn't a gay dude and AIDS wasn't associated with gay dudes?
I don't think he would, to be honest. But I don't know. His thing is also he does like a lot of racial humor and stuff too. He wants to be intentionally outrageous, like as outrageous as he can be.
If you're going to be intentionally outrageous, you're going to
you're going to get this. Like you're going to. You probably should know who your audience or who you're attacking for sure, and how they're going to take it.
But it's we reap what we sow with both these fucking guys. Because
For sure.
DJ's screaming from the rafters, everybody's a fucking bigot. Eventually you're gonna find one.
Mhm.
Like if I could walk around telling everybody, get into every person's face on the street saying I'm voting for Joe Biden, and somebody's gonna punch me in the face. I can do the same thing and say I'm voting for Trump. Somebody's eventually gonna punch me in the face. If I just walk through the mall, every single person, if you're looking for trouble, you're gonna fucking find it. If you're screaming everybody's a bigot, the bigots are going to find you, and if you're gonna make jokes that are offensive about using slurs and saying shit about gay people like that in that tone, you're gonna find somebody who's gonna say, "Hey, that's fucking terrible," especially
For sure.
the guy you said it about.
And it is terrible, and that's why he's trying to say it. Like, it is that brand of humor that he's going for. Again, I understand, like, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and it's not going to land for everyone, but that's literally what he's going for. Is it's terrible.
What the fuck? I don't need your condolences. How about you stop F slurring people? How about you stop saying that you're going to catch AIDS from gay people? How about that?
So that sucks because, like, so Iron Oxide said this, and he says, "Why don't you stop F slur?" Like, Iron Oxide never did, or anything like that. Like, it's just, it's weird. It feels like he's conflating, like, all as one because they're part of this group, which, as in part of this group is these 7 people were on this panel. So, I don't know. It just sucks. Oxide was one of the 7 that was on that panel, and I've been on panels with him a lot, too.
But he says, am I misreading this? He says
he's saying that he would do it in jokes. I've never heard him do it actually out loud or anything like that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, but I've made myself clear.
I'm not sure. I have just never heard him say one in a joke, so he might.
Which one is
but
this guy? Is this the guy that smokes a ton of cigarettes?
No, no. He's a cool dude. So he is a creator. I don't know if he's released any videos yet. I've definitely seen him as a guest on a bunch of different panels and stuff. But he's just a cool dude, into comics. Yeah, he's really into pop culture and stuff. But I know he's doing some movie reviews recently. I think he might have done one for Blue Beetle. Yeah. And then, yeah.
Because it's not a fucking joke.
I agree,
So that is what I was dealing with.
It is a joke,
right?
but it's not a great
entire
joke.
group. So this is not me going, oh, guilt by association. They are coming into my comments and doubling down on what he said and okaying what he said. So at this point, it's not even just guilt by association. They are confirming that they don't see a problem with it.
So, I don't know. I feel like he's contradicting himself. He said it's not guilt by association, and then 2 sentences later said it's not just guilt by association. I think that this might go on for a second longer, but then it shows a previous one, his previous calling out of MSK, the one that I made a response to, because it is guilt by association on this, and I'll show you exactly how.
Because if this is your response, you are not addressing the issue. You made a stream unprovoked, or he made a stream, or your friend made a...
Again, like he's saying this like you. It's MSK, not Iron Oxide. Iron Oxide was just a guest on the stream. So I don't know. I feel like he keeps conflating everybody involved in this.
Yeah, calling
that's
me
a lot of
F
weight.
slur and saying that he could catch AIDS from me. That should be an immediate, like, that was fucked up. That should have never happened.
Great.
Okay. And I'm sure you would hold me to that standard, Patrick. These guys would not hold themselves or anybody else on this panel to that standard. And that's the problem. Like, if you're only going to hold your enemies to that standard, it is not a standard. It is just, again, it would be this in-group bias. It is beyond just hypocrisy. It is you're excusing atrocities because your group is doing it. It is a bad form of tribalism. It is something that I personally think that we should fight against. But
2 wrongs don't make a right.
yeah, exactly. Same principle.
Don't promote your podcast on the back of that. Yeah. Because here he is, him,
So this is the original
in
one.
his little safe space bubble with a bunch of these people who either A, are homophobic,
Again, false
or
binary.
are okay with homophobia, because not one of them, there's 1, 2, 3, 4,
Or our guests on a panel, and, when somebody says something outrageous and then somebody else speaks, how often do you hear, like, somebody else go back and then, reprimand the host for saying something on their own show, especially when this guy's whole shtick is to be, like, outrageous. I feel like that's a weird standard to do it, but again, they're either homophobic or sympathetic to homophobic beliefs because they didn't automatically stop this when they're guests on somebody's panel and it's the host making these jokes. I don't know. I feel like that's a bad standard to make, but he then goes ahead and does guilt by association even more in just a moment.
5, 6, 7 other people in there that laughed when he joked about getting AIDS who also did not bat an eye at him using the F slur in reference to me. And he does it again in this video. There's probably more times. I've got at least 2 times that he's used it in this clip here, this 3-hour stream.
So again, that was 2 times in a 3-hour stream where he did use the F slur. Again, I wouldn't use it, but they were attempts at humor, and he has clarified in other streams when he's used that he's not saying that to mean gay. It's more of a way that a person behaves. Still, as abhorrent as I think that is... Sorry, go right ahead.
Too many. It's 2 times too many.
Fair enough. And for me personally as well, I wouldn't be saying that. But yeah, I'll let them kind of keep going on. But it was very much a guilt by association thing that he was doing and saying that everybody involved in that is now part of this bigoted safe space.
It's uncomfortable, though. I mean, it's uncomfortable to
yeah, and then that's the other thing, too. Like,
stand up and say, like, I don't agree with
I know there's a couple people on that panel that it was their first time on. So it's like, okay, so now they've just been branded a bigot because they were a guest on some outrageous sketch show that they possibly didn't
go on the show, and I got lumped into this.
Yeah, well, you know me. So again, that's the association. So I'm the bad person.
I don't have confirmation of this. Several people said that his YouTube channel was taken down for transphobic videos. I don't know if that's true or not.
That is completely false. It's not my place to tell you exactly what it was, but he had somebody that was harassing him. He said some words to them, and they took that as harassment as well. It was not transphobic videos. That is just a bad rumor that you're spinning to make it seem like he is just transphobic, homophobic, whatever. He says a lot of outrageous shit. It was for the outrageous shit that he says. It was not for making a transphobic video.
But I can't find his original channel, so I don't know if that actually happened.
I know I've had trouble finding it before because like he contacted me once and like I looked him up.
He literally reaches out to like everybody to see if they'll come on.
But like he got cagey fairly quickly in our communication, so I let the thing drop. And then I saw him talk to someone I debated, and almost immediately after.
I think that might be me, because it was pretty soon after I debated Bob. Somehow he ended up seeing that and invited me on. So it might be me. Maybe I'm taking too much credit for that, but I am somebody that Bob kind of debated, and he.
Oh, he said debated. I thought he said dated.
Oh, no, he's tried, but it didn't quite work that way.
Talk to this person, and he was very sympathetic to a lot of views he stated. I was like, oh, this guy.
Hands off your beard.
So the other thing is, and I don't know, Dane, do you want to go into the second half of this?
The second half.
Mustard and starfish?
Yeah.
Well, who could that be?
Okay.
Who could a mustard and starfish be? And why the hell are you lumped into any of this? What does starfish have to do with any of this?
Okay, so after this all went down, they decided, hey, let's double down and continue to bully the gay person. They did another stream about me, responding to my...
Okay, that is really shitty. So he put out this video, like calling MSK whatever, you've seen the thumbnail and his thing, and you can go and see it on Eric's channel if you want to. But essentially, he called him a bigot, and everybody that's on the show has a bigoted safe space. I thought that guilt by association thing really sucked. So I have been on MSK's show quite a bit. I don't know, maybe like 10 times or something like that. And I was scheduled to be on it last Tuesday. I just noticed Tuesday morning Eric's video. It came up and it was calling MSK, a bunch of bigoted terms, and he didn't mince words with it. So I sent that over to MSK, and he's like, hey, you want to respond about this tonight while we're on the show? Because I was already booked to be on it. I can understand how people would think that that's in poor taste, that like the day that his video is, or maybe it was the day after, but the first day that I saw it, we had to talk about it. I don't know. It seemed to me like he was lying a lot about MSK, and MSK may want to respond to it. So I made him aware of it, and then when I was on MSK's thing, I took a little clip of what I had to say after I watched his entire thing and MSK's explanation of it. And I went ahead and put that as a short on there. But I think that's going to come up in a second. But he did not decide to do this stream as a response to him or anything like that. It was a segment of a stream that he was already doing. There were a bunch of other topics. Again, I think that's the one where he thought that he had this article. He thought that it was all correct and then realized on the very last sentence that it was satirical and it was from a Christian website. And we all dunked on MSK for being, kind of a fool as a host on that one and not reading that last line to understand that this was coming from a Christian site. But anyway, let's let him explain. But that was but a segment, not an entire stream on it.
My video where I called them out on it. And instead of being like, yeah, it's fucked up to use the F slur, that's probably something people should be doing. No, they just double down on everything they said. Which, by the way, I'm not going to go back and forth with them. I don't really see any reason to do that. So, at this point, I know
it would be confrontation. He's afraid of that,
and that's enough for me. However, fans of the show who are super, super interested in everything that we're doing, which, by the way, thank you for being
that's nice.
Extremely enthusiastic about our show. Starfish and Mustard. As we
Oh.
call them.
Well,
Who are
their full
they?
names are Sociopath Mustard and Psycho Starfish.
Oh.
Huh. So now Dr. Dane, we know that he already self-diagnosed himself, but apparently he's taken it a step further than that. He's also diagnosing us. Now, he's using some really heavy-weighted medical terms there. Do you know the terms sociopath and psychopath, or sociopathy and psychopathy? Well, they are somewhat related. They aren't so different in a clinical sense, both refer to antisocial personality disorder, but they are kind of very different things. So a lot of the literature really says, be careful with using these terms. It actually is really a bad thing, which is odd because Dane was recently just chastising some guy who was kind of doing a response to the Fandom Initiative, and he happened to mention something about Dane's autism or being on the spectrum, self-diagnosed. And he said that was in extreme poor taste. He just knew that one of these chuds would finally bring up his mental health, whatever you'd want to call that, his disorder, and use that in a disparaging way. Yet he, again, is so eager to call us sociopaths and psychopaths. I don't know, that seems awfully irresponsible. And again, you're just dismissing it when it's on your side. No one in his group is batting an eye at this. Again, they're just sitting around laughing that he's calling us these horrible, horrible terms. So in psychopathy, they pretend to care. So, sorry, this would be the psychopath. So this would be you, Psycho Starfish. So let's see if this pertains to you at all. Pretends to care, but doesn't actually care. There's a ton of times where you've reached out to me to see if I'm okay with stuff. I've seen you caring a lot about me, about the people around us. Andrew specifically, you've given quite a few shout outs to him that you really miss not having him around. And I've just seen how much you care. I think that's just horrible.
There's a lot of stuff that you and I may not know. There's a lot of people that reach out to you and I because they like to think that we just randomly make a thing just for a show. But there's a lot of people that have reached out. I find out a lot. A handful of people have reached out wanting to do stuff on the show pertaining to Dane and these guys, and we've said no.
Yeah.
Because I just thought it caused more pain to the person than the entertainment value was worth. So I do care about people. I care about cats too.
And then openly displays cold-hearted behavior. I'd say that's horrible, man. I've been on a whole bunch of. Excuse me, I wasn't actually the guest. I watched you as a guest on a show where you were fighting with the whole panel, saying that it's okay for men to cry. You're definitely talking about compassionate behavior. Again, it's caring. It's recognizing that you display emotions, and that's just fine. I would not call you cold-hearted at all. Unable to recognize other people's distress. Again, you reached out to me numerous times when you thought that perhaps even this situation, when you saw kind of this was going down, it seemed like you thought hey, is everything okay? I don't know. I think you could see that this possibly could be a distressing situation. Shallow and fake relationships. Dude, you've been an awesome friend to me. I've seen, the other relationships, the way that you treat the other people in, our circles that kind of orbit or whatever. It seems like they're real relationships. You seem like a genuine dude. I would not say that anything is shallow or fake about you. Again, we kind of only know each other through the internet, but I wouldn't say that describes you at all. And then inclined to criminal activities. I mean, yes. What can I say? You are a kingpin. You are a mastermind. So he's got you on one, but lacks genuine emotional attachments. I mean, I see.
Feline liberation.
Yeah, and then that's the other thing. The emotions that you went through with, I'm sorry to mention it again, but the passing of your cat recently. It's just this is so shitty to say that these are fake emotions and you don't actually. Sorry, the next one is may love others based on their way. It's no, you can see the love, the compassion that you have for other people. So, I don't know, it really rubs me the wrong way that it use a term like this, especially for someone like you. I see nothing psychotic in there. No, sociopathy, it's a little bit different, and this one will be based off of me, apparently. I'm a sociopath mustard, and so openly shows that they do not care how others feel. I could definitely see that. Okay, from his point of view, I could see that. I feel like, I do reach out to others, I do consider their feelings, and that's why I choose my words very carefully. Again, I try to explain why I've come to the conclusion that I have, not just leave it as I have this thing that everything's okay. I'm trying to explain why I think that everything is okay in comedy. It's not just coming from, fuck your feelings. I'm trying to explain how I got there. And then displays hot-headedness and impulsive. I gotta admit, I got a little bit heated in my the rant that I gave from MSK's stream that's now short on mine. But I don't know. That's about as heated as it gets. I'm not gonna like.
That's not a pattern for these fellas.
Yeah.
About like you flipping out once in a blue moon is not. But you don't flip out.
Well, and then I wouldn't exactly say that it's a flip out. Like, I'm not threatening to do like illegal behavior or anything like that. I was just saying, like, how dare you call anyone else a coward? Like, you have done so many cowardly things and ran away from just a conversation.
I mean,
I don't know.
For hours and hours and hours and hours together, and I've never heard you like that.
Oh, so you haven't often seen me give in to fits and/or tantrums?
No, I mean that's what you scream at me with screams to get my shit together. But like,
what about rationalizing wrong behavior? Do I do a bunch of? So I guess somebody could say that for like the jokes that I'm somehow giving a rationalization for somebody to do that. I guess I could see somebody making that argument. I don't think I am rationalizing it. I'm not doing it personally. I'm just saying, I think I want to leave that door open for freedom of comedy, so that you could get a great joke about a dark subject.
Well, but this is saying rationalizing wrong behavior. So like,
I think they could think that is wrong to have those type of jokes. Right. Period. So, I guess you could see that that's rationalizing it. Fair enough. Having difficulty in maintaining emotional attachments. Yeah, that's just not true. I don't know. I think I've had so I guess this is probably talking more about people. I was going to mention like my guitars and stuff. Like I feel very attached to them. But, same thing with like all my pets. I have entirely too many pets. Don't really want to get into it right now, but I have what has been referred to as like a menagerie. I love those guys. Every one of them, like my dogs, are just like amazing as well. As far as people, I do love my family. One side of my family seems very standoffish, very close to the other side, and just spend a lot of time with them. I have, friendships that just kind of go back. I don't see any problem or difficulty in maintaining emotional attachments, but, whatever. And then it does go a little bit further. So again, for sociopathy, it would be lack of empathy for others. I like to feel that I can empathize with others. I like to, think of where the other person's point of view is coming from. I think that's kind of one of the definitions of empathy. Impulsive behavior, it's really hard for me to do anything. I overthink almost everything. Attempting to control others with threats or aggression, I don't know, that's just not my jam. Using intelligence, charm, or charisma to manipulate others, yeah, that's just not something, I don't know. I don't think I have much charisma or charm, but yeah, I'm not trying to manipulate anyone on anything, but yeah, I could see how somebody could think that of me. Not learning from mistakes, lying for personal gain, showing a tendency to physical violence or fights. I've been in a few. It's been over a decade since I've been in any sort of physical altercation. I wouldn't say that it's like a tendency, but yeah, I used to be in bands a lot, and there was a lot of drunk people around, and it seems like any time that I did end up in an altercation, it was some drunk guy like misperceiving something. Or there was one time where I did bring it on to myself. Some dudes were celebrating that Dimebag Darrell got shot. I was at a show like the next night, and I just started like yelling at that band. And yeah, one of their fans had one of those rings that goes across like 4 fingers. So it was essentially like brass knuckles, just like exploded my nose. That I definitely brought on myself by shouting at them and really trying to, I guess, make a spectacle of myself. I don't know. I was a teenager and very stupid at that time. But I wouldn't say that there's like a history of violence or fights. Yeah, and then, yeah, superficial relationships, stealing, committing crimes. I guess so. I mean, I drive fast. I, turn right on reds that you're not supposed to sometimes. Abusing drugs and alcohol. Definitely had a past with that. Never attempted to Roblox myself. Trouble with responsibilities, such as a job or paying bills. Nah, I'm good on that. Yeah. So, and then psychopathy, it would be, so again, this would be you. Insincere charm, getting bored easily, compulsive lying, manipulation of others, no remorse or guilt, little emotional reaction, cruelty without feeling bad about it, taking advantage of others, behavior problems that started in childhood, failure to accept responsibility, and many sexual relationships.
Some of these.
So, I mean, I was going to say, there might be a couple that apply, but again, all of these things.
Many sexual relationships. It's funny that that list, it just couldn't be more opposite of who I am.
I wasn't thinking about this until I actually saw it, but lack of empathy for others.
Exactly where you're going.
I know I've seen Dan literally says that he has no empathy for the right. Impulsive behavior. I've seen him go off the handle quite a few different times. He just streams whenever he wants to, like just randomly. It's like, I don't know what we're doing. Attempting to control others with threats or aggression. We've definitely seen examples of that. Using intelligence, charm, charisma to manipulate others. Well, he doesn't have any of those. Not learning from mistakes or punishment. I mean, how many times have you heard him say the R slur and then be told, "Oh yeah, I'm not saying that." Just keeps doing it over and over again. Lying for personal gain. I see that a ton on all of his streams. Again, you can look back a couple videos off the top of my head. I just gave like 30 examples. Showing a tendency to physical violence or fights. I doubt he actually does. He definitely tries to threaten them. But I don't see him lifting paper, let alone, fighting someone. Generally superficial relationships. I don't know. I've seen like every co-host that he's had on every show pretty much leave, but I don't know anything about his actual relationships or anything like that. Not my place to say.
He's been streaming with Morgan for a while, right?
I think so. It used to be Lil Movie Perp before that. But, I don't know his personal relationship. I've just seen a lot of the co-hosts move on and not be associated with him. Sometimes stealing or committing other crimes. I know I've seen him steal the questions that you sent, but other than that, I don't know about him actually stealing. Threatening suicide to manipulate others. Don't know anything about that. Abusing drugs or alcohol. He used to write for like a weed magazine or something, weed publication, so... I don't know if you'd call that abusing. I don't know anything else about his backstory.
Suicide without intention to act. I could see Dane. He was probably a cutter. He was like one of those 13-year-old girl cutters.
But that last one, trouble with responsibility, such as a job or paying bills. Huh. Now, again, it is not our place to, diagnose anyone. That's not what we do here. You might want to go talk to a professional and see if all of those things do match, as well as it kind of appears.
Maybe you can get out of the closet finally.
Because Starfish has apparently threatened to kidnap my cat.
Yes, I have.
Oh, so first off, Starfish, Patrick, he threatened to liberate the cat, and that was after you made a bunch of statements saying, like, your kids, which I'm assuming means your cats, have to eat weird meat from one of your other kids that died. That seems serious. Patrick wanted to liberate this cat from what sounds like a horrendous situation. That sounds admirable. That sounds empathetic and admirable. Also, clearly you were joking about that situation with the weird meat. So was Patrick, you asshole. You can't joke about your kid dying and then feeding it to the other kid if Patrick can't joke about liberating your cat from that horrible situation.
It's only half a joke, because I'm assuming Dane will eventually lose his fucking marbles and end up in an institution somewhere. Strapped to a goddamn table getting electroshock or something, because the guy is just, he's heading towards a bad way in life. When that happens, I will send my information to you, Dane, and I will not liberate as much as I will adopt your cat, and I will give him a good life. I want the cat tree, but it doesn't have to be part of the deal.
That's interesting.
Classy.
Yeah.
It is classy. He cares about animals.
I'll adopt your kids too, Bob.
About everything.
And then, I don't know, so we kind of talked over it, but Eric was like, it's just a joke. That's what they say about everything. It was a joke. Just like it was a joke where Dane was talking about feeding weird meat to his... And yes, it was playing off of that. Just as Dane joked that he has no money and he can't take care of his pets, we also joked we would liberate that. Come on, you can't say we can't joke about his joke. That's... I don't know. I guess I don't understand their standard on that at all.
But yeah, so surprisingly, Mustard showed up in stream with these guys like a couple of days after this happened.
Wow, and I bet they're going to frame it like it's the first time I've ever been there, not like my 10th appearance that happens pretty much every Tuesday. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be there this next Tuesday, against the advice of many people in my life who don't agree with MSK and don't like it. Again, Patrick is one of those. But you don't believe in guilt by association. Like, you have seen a couple of my appearances. Granted, I mean, he has like 3 or 4 hour streams. Like, I'm not expecting anyone to watch those. It would be a certain type to want to watch his content. But I do handle myself, and I take accountability for anything that I say on there. But I don't know. It just seems weird to, forever view somebody as wrong or flawed because they were like a guest on some sort of panel show. I don't know. Maybe I'm unique in that, but yeah. Sorry, I've kind of digressed from where Eric is going. Let's get back to DJ Eric.
Wow. And basically in that video, was complaining about the fact that I called them cowards, considering that I don't want to debate with people. I don't want to interact with people.
It just goes
No.
there. Like, oh,
It wasn't. I mean, that was almost correct. No, that's what I was going to say. Like, it's almost correct. I do view him as a coward, and it is because he refused to have that conversation with us.
Yeah.
So let me make it very clear. I did not call them cowards because they made a video about me. You know how many people make videos about us? It's like, there's so many people that make videos about us. Do I think all of them are cowards? No. The reason why I said that this person specifically is a coward is because they would never say that shit directly to me. And what I mean by that is
I really do think that MSK would. He literally talks shit to everyone's face. He tries to be outrageous. He expects pushback. And like that's literally why I'm on his panel usually is to dunk on him. I don't know. I do think he would say it to his face.
In real life. Like,
yeah.
Like, walk right up to him and say it. And say, look, I said it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's correct. But
Yeah.
I don't think MSK would have a fucking issue in the world. With a phone call, email, video, in person, anything between, I think he'd say it.
No, I think that dude is 100% what you see is what you get. He is not putting it on like that is that guy. He is. Some may say that, some may say crazy, but I like that guy. I can see why he rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
slur. I don't mean that they have a bad opinion of me, that they think I'm ugly, they think I'm fat, they don't like my beard, they don't like my clothes, they think they don't like my content. All of that is fair shit. Like, if you want to talk shit about that, that's fine. But I call them a coward because they would not say that slur directly to me. They did it in a separate stream, thinking that I would never see it.
Well, you'll never know.
That's
That
why
is
I call
not
them
what he said at
I
all.
also called them a coward because it's not a joke to me.
This
It's
is
not
what he
funny.
said.
So they do all of this, and they do it behind my back, and clearly they know who I am. But guess what? I don't know any of these fucking.
So he didn't do it behind his back. He literally tagged him in all the Twitter thing, and then he just put this on Twitter. There is nothing behind it. So is everything that the Fandom Initiative does behind everybody else's back? Is it all behind Eric July's back? He's not being tagged in any of it. He's not being invited on. Like, I don't know. It's just strange. I don't understand what he means by behind their back. Like, this isn't some secret thing. Like,
It's on the fucking internet. It's not your secret Discord.
Yeah, it doesn't require levels to get into this. It's literally anybody can watch it.
Yeah, they just go.
Other than him. But clearly they know who I am. So I guess I'm doing something right in that regard.
I'm famous.
But they go in these little bubbles and they say these kinds of things that they will not say to my face. Because they're fucking cowards.
They are fucking cowards. It's not MSK. If he's just calling MSK that, fine. He's calling everyone on this panel. There's 7 additional people.
They're fucking cowards. So when you tell me, Eric, why do you talk about gay stuff? Why do you have to mention who you are as a person and the things you fight for? This is why.
Is it?
Because hatred grows in these kinds of spaces. And these.
So again, because everybody didn't immediately, that is a lovely pose. It is one that I strike a lot. Oh, sorry, I had to go the other way. It's just strange to condemn everybody on here for not immediately condemning MSK when he said this. Again, he doesn't hold himself to that same standard, but let's let him play for just a second longer.
People, especially him, is too much of a fucking coward to say it to me. So they'll say it on these. So all of the people in this little bubble, all of these little fucking homophobic, enthusiasts.
All of them,
keep
everyone
in the
there.
safe space. Keep doing it. You misrepresented me. You're all fucking cowards.
Again, is that just MSK, or is he saying you are all fucking cowards? I really hate this. He is completely lying about what he previously said, so I had to grab these parts from it. That was what my whole response to him was about, is no, you can't do this guilt by association, but not hold yourself to the same fucking standard.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing.
Live with it. I also called them a coward because they said that I could give them AIDS by interacting with them, which is another thing that I would never say about them.
Do you think people actually... Yeah, it's, again, just MSK. Do you think that anyone thinks that they can actually get, like, cancer from listening to somebody they don't like? From, like, listening to... Do you think anyone actually thinks that feminism is cancer, or is it a very hyperbolic way of speaking? I believe that's the same vein that he's trying to do on this, but... Okay, it is a horrible thing to say. Yeah, it's a horrible thing to say.
You wouldn't say it. It's the same principle as off the top.
I wouldn't say it, period, but...
You wouldn't say it. No, I mean, I don't mean you, obviously. I know you wouldn't.
Yeah.
We would not say it, but a person would not make an AIDS joke about a gay dude unless it was specifically to the point of to trigger that response. Like,
yeah, and I think that's exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to be outrageous and trigger him.
He was trying to get Eric upset. So
Mhm.
I don't know what you call that. Is it a soft bigotry? Because I don't think MSK is a bigot. He's an idiot.
No,
Like,
but he's been labeled that many, many times, and I think he's just comfortable with it. So it's like, fine, fuck you.
yeah, I mean, if you call somebody a bigot enough, I mean, what's going to stop them from calling you the F Slur, I guess?
Yeah.
inappropriate stuff. That goes beyond shit talking. That is literally awful garbage.
It's hate speech, man. It's fucking hate speech.
So that is why I called him a coward. Like, people so badly want to be a martyr for shit. Like, I don't care that you're making videos about me. Like, ultimately, I don't give a fuck about that. The reason why I responded to this one specifically, which, by the way, there's a lot of chuds that have made videos about me that I have never responded to. But I responded to this.
I find that hard to believe.
What were you gonna say, Dane?
I just was saying the same. Like, and the thing is, the guys that they are making, they've been making a lot of videos, a lot of streams about it.
Who would these guys be? I don't know. Someone's making a lot of streams about them, apparently. I don't know.
Wild claims and shit. It's like, for one, that's one of the reasons I won't talk to them. It's just because the things that they're
Oh,
saying
that's the reason. It's
are-
not your cowardice. It's not your fear. It's not you know that you would actually be called out in real time, and you couldn't defend yourself because of your, ineptitude to, like, control your, I don't know, impulsive behavior, perhaps aggression,
This is the shit
if you
that
will.
bugs me about these guys. I hate this fucking shit. That, like, it's always some bullshit. Like, oh, I would stream with these guys because you did. It's like, no, it's because you're fucking. You know that we've been watching you, and we fucking have your number, man. And 2 minutes with us online, or 2 minutes of a conversation, you'd be fucking totaled.
Yeah,
I'm
completely.
not saying we debate up to death, and there's
No.
so much more about fucking comic books and stupid shit that I know. Look at
All it was supposed to be was a conversation. It wasn't even supposed to be a debate with AirRick, and that made them run. Like, there's no way they would have a conversation with us.
bad faith, bad shit. Still bad faith.
And they know they are just so fucking egregiously bad faith.
Bad faith?
The only thing that I know is egregiously bad faith and self-proclaimed would be, oh yeah, your pirate campaign against ISOM, Dane. I wish I had that clip to drop right here, but it would be Dane saying, yo, and this was egregiously bad faith on my part, where he talked about how he made a fake ad for ISOM that then linked to 2 pirating websites where you could get ISOM for free, despite there being no web digital copies of it. I don't know, just Dane is the one who is constantly being egregiously bad faith, but I'm sure he'll explain what we're so bad faith about.
At the very least, and just fucking, misinformation and designed to, provoke us.
Oh, and misinformation.
And but also...
Again, he's so flush with the details, and yeah, as you can tell, like, that is such a persuasive argument. Like, you're right.
The things that they bring up, like, Chunky Monkey and shit, like, if you're focused on that, dude, I know that you are not a fucking serious person.
So he brings this up because...
You missed the point, though. You can't purposely miss this.
Well, when he showed up in our one stream, it did happen to be the part where we were talking about Chunky Monkey, but yes, he did miss the point where we said, and you would never give this same excuse to somebody else. We've also mentioned that, you keep saying that you used to be racist, but then you read X-Men. That is just another example of something that you would never, ever let anyone who you call a bigot or you call a chud, you would never let them go with that excuse. It just doesn't make sense. It's a bad excuse.
He was born half racist. I think there was racism on his father's side.
Oh, that's right.
He's a quarter Irish, 75%.
Oh, okay. That's true. It's in the blood.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to deflect racism from all these guys in the Fandom Menace and fucking EVAP...
Yeah, I forgot. This is his other great defense. Until you have taken care of bigotry everywhere else, you can't talk about my bigoted behavior. That's such a shitty standard, but it's a go-to of his.
I don't know what the fucking Fandom Menace is.
So they're a group that doesn't exist anymore, but like Geeks and Gamers and a few of those other people were kind of in it. They've since said they don't like it, they disavow it. So it's not even a thing anymore, but it's what these guys called their group, like a spin-off of it, the Fandom Initiative instead of the Fandom Menace. It's just a group that doesn't exist anymore that, it started going a little bit further than it was originally intended. Hey, could the initiative be following that same trajectory?
But then you're going to fixate on that whenever, it doesn't take but a pretty quick internet search to see that it's not a racist thing, and...
So let's look into that. So is monkey a racist term? Oh, yes, there's a shitload of, examples of monkey being a racist term. Again, this is that you wouldn't let this excuse go for anybody else. If they said, yeah, but there's this qualifier to this term. I'm not actually saying this. I'm using this qualifier. Chunky is in front of it, so it's not a racist term. Again, it's just you would never use that for anybody else. It's very weak. That's the only thing that we're pointing out to you.
And
I think Ben and Jerry's was so racist when they made that ice cream flavor.
Yeah,
sure. Nobody is making the argument.
That on top of that, when he was in this chat with them, I find it egregious, right, to know that someone would go, hey, this person used an F slur towards a known gay creator. And said that that person could give them AIDS. So let me jump into that stream with these people and start.
That's a big assumption on your part that because of that, I jumped in there. I actually showed him that, and then he asked, do you want to talk about that in your regularly scheduled guest appearance on my show, on my panel? I said yes. So it was involving that, but that was supposed to be one of the many subjects that we were going to talk about that evening. I don't think that that's necessarily a wrong thing when I see you basically lump all of his panel into the same bucket because of their association. And that's what I'm calling out. And that's what I went on there to call out, that I thought it was egregious on your part. So, all right, you can frame it that way.
I'll lump in the anybody who's on that show every single solitary day and streams with him every day. I'll lump it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it to him. Anybody who also said
platform off of
the F Slur, fair game. But
fair enough. As far as I know, it's only been MSK when I've been on there. But like I said,
it'd be like saying every single person that ever has been on an EFAP.
Yeah, is responsible for everything. That, yeah, I don't like that logic.
So many different, it's like I work with a guy who's racist. Like one of my cousins is really racist. Like,
well, both Bob and Ed allowed me on their channels, and I'm a bigot according to them. So does that make them bigots now? They platformed a bigot. Oh my God! Even though I was there to argue with them, just like I pretty much do with MSK every time I'm on there. But I don't know. Look.
What's going on with this fucking kid Turf, man? Every time I see him, he looks like
he just got back from vacation, he's a little bit out of it. He's jet lagged. I think he might say a little something about us, but for the most part, he's not involved in this.
Yeah, he stays out of it.
Right. Well, because that's what he does. So there's the reason that
that's what I do.
Starfish and Mustard, are buddies now. Is because apparently, from what we can tell, they didn't know each other prior to Starfish managing to get onto my channel for a little while and turned out to be a dishonest shithead and transphobic.
Wow. So that's really fucked up that you turned out to be dishonest and a transphobe. Yeah, I think coming sooner rather than later. We got to go through that backstory. We do have that video all good to go. We just need to react to it, and it's quite a long one. So, we need to get into that backstory, and everyone can make up their mind if you were just being transphobic or if you were literally trying to understand and then had a conversation with them, and were quite amicable and, jovial at the end of it. So were they, and, all of a sudden,
I thought it was nice.
All of a sudden, you're just a racist, even though you guys never talked about race. I don't know. It's a little strange. And the fact that he's now calling you a transphobe, at least that kind of matches with some things that you guys were talking about in the conversation. So it's an upgrade.
Yeah. I don't think I'm a transphobe. I don't think I was a transphobe then either.
Yeah, well, I guess the audience will get to decide soon. So that's good times.
Coming soon.
And I kicked him from the channel and banned him and stuff.
Oh yeah, you got banned also after you talked to him.
Amazing. One time I talk to a guy, you get banned. I wonder why they don't hold that standard for everyone.
Yeah,
maybe that's a little spoiler.
Huh.
They found each other. It was like I could imagine the music and it got all slow motion. And they ran across the beach.
I bet he does imagine us running across a beach in his mind quite a lot. Our slow embrace. It sounds like he has some fanfic going. I wouldn't be surprised if he's writing some fanfic. The old Starfish and Mustard running on the beach. Dane, I don't want to deprive you of your fantasies, but we actually haven't met in real life yet. But yes, a friendship was forged. Patrick happened to see me talk to Bob, and that was after you had been like a jerk and kicked him out. So, he kind of was talking to me through the chat when that was going on, and then he saw me talk to Ed, and, he kind of thought maybe we have similar ideas, and he reached out to me, and, I gotta say, Patrick's been one of the coolest guys I've met online, so I'm really glad that he did. I'm glad that you banned him just so that this could happen, but that being said, it was very unfair behavior on your part. But I guess technically you do have a part that was played in our backstory, so thank you, Dane.
I mean, it's like Dane created his own worst fucking enemy here.
Oh, you think banning everyone isn't the greatest idea? Just banning somebody who asks a simple question? I don't know.
I won't go too much into it, but the origin will shed some more light, and you just did this to yourself.
Yeah.
Did it to yourself, buddy.
To each other and stuff. And then seems to be that Mustard guy, that's just what he's doing. He's like fixated on finding anybody that happens to have like some kind of clash with us or something.
I don't
and he's
think
like,
that's true.
I'm not reaching out to anybody, okay? We've got a lot of people reaching. Again, a lot is relative. I'm sure it's not a lot compared to like who's reaching out to like the big channels out there, but quite a few people have reached out to us to like give us information or like, hey, I got to tell you about this. Yeah, and I gotta say, we do turn away quite a bit of it because it just seems like very, I don't know what you want to call it, gossipy or whatever. It's like, hey, I don't care about this. Like, okay. But there have been some really cool people that have reached out and have said like, hey, I've been digging what you're doing. Would you like to come on my show or whatever? That's cool. You know, we have met some people through our mutual, I don't know what you want to call it, disagreement with you guys. Yeah. But you know,
that, like, it's not all. It wasn't all like because of Dane, but some of it might be lateral.
No.
I guess, like
I think so.
I think I met a lot of people through Sitch and Adam.
Yeah.
Which they were on with Sitch and Adam once. But
Yes.
I wouldn't say that it was because of Dane.
Yeah.
That I'm friends with, like Kiddo or Andrew, any of those guys.
Yeah,
We always
exactly.
Like to watch the internet bullshit and comment on. Like, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no brands.
Yeah.
It's just like.
And that is
I feel
the
like
overlap between all of us, is that Adam and Sid show. Like, I think a lot of us came out of that audience, which, you know, we kind of dig it, the open-mindedness. And, hey, they might just come up in this conversation as well.
Recruiting a whole fucking, you know, legion of...
Oh, we're recruiting for our... Let me go back just a little bit on that. Sorry, we're recruiting here.
Finding anybody that happens to have, like, some kind of clash with us or something, and he's, like, recruiting his little fucking, you know, legion of stupid doom or something.
The LSD? The Legion of Stupid Doom?
I like
Hey! So we've got a name for our crew now. So I don't know, it just seems stupid. Like, we're not going around recruiting for anything. Trust me, we're turning down more than we're accepting anyone who wants to... Yeah. You know, what can I say, buddy? We're not going around trying to recruit for a little group, and we don't have a cute little name for our group. But thanks for the suggestion of LSD. You know, I kind of dig it.
And I just have to wonder what the real motives behind that type of thing is.
And the other thing is that they wanted to bring up the...
I think you, sir, have no standards. I think you view yourself as the arbiter of who or who is not a bigot, yet you refuse to see your own bigoted behavior. I think it's extremely hypocritical. You're using in-group bias to dismiss your own and your group's behavior, but you're holding everybody else to a higher standard and declaring these guys are bigoted when they're doing practically the same exact actions that you are doing. In fact, yours may be even more egregious, but you're just excusing it. That is my problem. The other thing is you seem to not actually give out any sort of information, but you claim that you have in a previous stream that you always keep hiding. That seems egregiously bad faith to me, much like your other actions that you have declared to be egregiously bad faith. That's my problem with what you're doing. That's why I do what I do. And then you came at us, and I'm responding, and this keeps happening. So, yeah, that's kind of my motive here.
Yeah, I feel like he fucked around. Now he's got to find out. That's like a concise way.
Oh, he's going to find out.
The fact that there was a stream the other, I think it was like a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, where we're all, like right now we're broadcasting to 4 different channels, right? We all broadcast to 4 different channels. It was the first time that I had done it because I hadn't actually connected with the system to do that. So we did that, but at that point in time, there was no moderators in my chat. That was my bad. I probably should have.
No, I'm not going to let you take accountability for my choice.
Okay.
You know, my words.
Oh, it was his choice, remember?
Yeah. Well, and I'll let you get to that, but I just want to say that I left the stream, and then I had another coward harasser that has been emailing me and leaving comments to me for months, calling for my death over and over and over again.
Left the stream, guy showed up, right? Am I following this right so far?
That's what he's sounding like. But he's saying that the same guy was, for months, sending him a bunch of emails that are death threats and harassment. Why wouldn't that guy be banned? Like, how could that guy...
Once.
Yeah, how come that guy's still allowed in that chat?
Well, he probably has a username that's like really common and not easy to write.
Fair enough. You could always do like an underscore or something in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems weird. Like, you know, our channel is small. It is definitely smaller than any of AirRick's channels, and we've got a bunch of mods in here. You know, I'm assuming somebody would take care if, you know, for some reason I left the stream and you were just running it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming somebody would jump in there and time out the person or ban them.
Sure.
I don't know. That just seems weird that he wouldn't, and that this person isn't banned. But I don't know. Still, that being said, anyone who gives death threats of any kind is fucking horrible. Like, that is just egregious. That is beyond any joke. That doesn't come off to me as any sort of joke. That is horrible. I would never defend that. Fuck anyone who's giving anybody else a death threat. Anyone who is giving anyone else a death threat.
In various different ways. Who came into the chat after I was gone. I'm pretty sure they waited for me to leave before they said anything.
Well, so the way we had it set up then is different. So now, we all have control over all of the chats. So I can moderate all the chats at once. And it's just like all three of you. But at that point, we had not made DJ part of our, stream account yet. So he was just kind of linked to his channel. And so we had no
he wasn't up to that tier in their secret Discord. Oh, sorry, in their channel to make him part of the control over it.
Oh.
I gotcha.
That's where that
Congrats on leveling up, AirRick.
Who showed up after DJ left, and he was like, "Debate me, fruitcake," and it's like immediately fucking being a piece of shit. And I allow myself.
Yeah, he did say fruitcake, and I've actually talked to a couple people since then who disagreed with my take on it. I had never heard like a gay person being referred to as fruitcake. I mean, definitely fruit and fruity stuff like that. Like, yeah, that seems like you're going along that. I'd only heard like fruitcake being said for like a crazy person or like nuts, like that fruitcake is in the mental ward, something like that. Apparently that's not the only way that that's used. So that could be my bad. Regionally, that might be a thing because around where I'm at, like I've only ever heard it as like someone nuts or crazy. So I could definitely be wrong on that. And that guy coming in with that, again, that seems like it's a troll. I would see them getting banned and stuff. But we weren't defending anything that he said. We were literally pointing out what Dane's reaction to this guy saying fruitcake is.
To go off on that stuff sometimes. And I went off in a very colorful way. I went off in what seemed to me pretty obviously cartoonish language in some ways. I said I was going to fuck his family. And then I said, if I'm going to fuck your grandpa, I think I said, and if he's not alive, I'll shit in his urn. Like just kind of talking shit. To someone who I have no idea who he is other than
he said a little bit more than that.
Screen, right?
Yeah.
But he did mention that he has no idea who this person is other than a username on the screen. But it seems like in a second they're about to say something completely different. That they knew that this was the guy that had been harassing Eric. Yeah, that doesn't seem correct. And that's also not the excuse that Dane used in that stream when he explained why he went off on the guy. And then the subsequent stream that he did with Morgan after that, explaining again why he went off on that guy. It was never brought up that that's because this guy was giving death threats to DJ AirRick. That seems to be what's called post hoc rationalization or justifying something after the fact, basically making it fit. It seems like he has now used this as, that's why this was justifiable. Yeah.
I'm not going to meet this guy. It wasn't any real threat, obviously. Anybody that's fucking honest is going to know that I'm not literally talking about going and having sex with his entire family.
It's concern trolling.
Nobody would ever fuck you.
So it was concern trolling when he threatened to, I'll let it play out, but it kind of reminds me of someone else. I don't know if you know that like famous. I'll let it go. Because
the concern trolling is that I threatened to grate his entire family, and that because I did that, DJ is actually supportive of grape.
Yeah.
So no, it was again the argument was, hey, if everyone on that panel that didn't immediately, disavow, is now part of this bigoted circle. Then because DJ AirRick never disavowed you threatening to grape this dude's entire family and threatening to then kill him when you meet him in real life, because he didn't disavow that by his own standard, he would then be guilty of this. Again, by his standard, if he was to actually apply it across the board. But again, he wouldn't apply that to himself. That was my entire argument. I think it's a stupid standard to have for everybody, so I don't hold that standard. But if he is going to hold that for his enemies, why not hold it for himself?
That's the connection. That's the through line on that. Clearly, that is the most logical take. That's the most logical place to go with that. But here's the deal: this person in the chat that was doing that is the same person that sent me an email. If you guys remember back during Pride.
And that's horrible. And that's why we didn't defend this person.
And I think
we simply pointed out this is what Dane did to this person. I don't think that's the same as defending this person is correct. And he's about to show a very egregious email. So trigger warning, this is very bad. This is what they showed on their stream. We're not just showing this out of nowhere, but it's a bad letter.
I just want to prepare everybody too. Like, this is a picture of the most textbook example of a racially motivated email. And that's what you're about to see. Like, almost as if it's right out of the book. Like,
yeah, it does seem very, yeah. But again, this is something that Eric received during Pride Month, so this is egregious. We do not defend this guy. Literally just pointed out how Dane reacted to this guy coming in and saying fruitcake.
And they didn't even know who this fucking guy was. How were we supposed to know who this fucking guy was?
He made that very clear. But apparently we were supposed to know that Eric's going through this because of all the streams that they have privated. I don't know.
They've never fucking talked about it before. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, warning for lots of slurs and hate.
So, trigger warning on this email. This is one of many emails that I have received.
Turf looks suicidal.
That looked like the one.
I think he's about to fall asleep. He just got back from a European vacation.
Saying the things that Dane reacted to.
He's ready to move out.
So here we go. This is that person.
So this is really horrible.
Feel any ounce of sympathy or concern.
So one thing to point out here, Dane's argument was that when he said that if he met this guy in real life, he would remove his head. That was so cartoonishly over the top that everyone knows that he was, being a jokester about this, that nobody could take this cartoonish threat seriously. I think you could use that same stupid argument with this. That's why I think both threats are horrible. But if you're going to talk about, like, you deserve to be curb stomped to the ground or whatever, could somebody not make, oh, come on, you can't do that to the ground. It's a curb, like, that's cartoonish. I'm just saying, I feel like you could use that same exact defense for this same thing, which is why it's a very bad defense. It's not consistent. Again, I don't think anybody should be giving death threats of any kind. Dane gave one to this guy gave one to DJ AirRick. Two wrongs don't make a right. Just because person A, this Nathaniel Howard, just because he did a death threat against Eric doesn't mean that now person C, Dane, gets to do a death threat against person A. You don't get to do that. Especially when it's not at the same time. Like if he threatened his life and was there, yeah, he could defend him or something. But this is much after the fact. This was, I don't know how many months ago was Pride Month, like 4 now? 3 now? Yeah, so like 3 months. So I don't know. I'm just saying, it seems like not only would the timing be wrong, but also there is no consistent standard other than, hey, death threats are wrong. Both of these are wrong. But you guys are condoning Dane's.
Be bothered by the fact that his feelings might have been hurt when this was the interactions I was getting from him? Fuck you. I have no sympathy or concern for this fucking person.
No one really should have sympathy for them.
The kind of stuff they've left in comments under my videos. So
that sucks. That is really horrible. You shouldn't have to deal with that. You should ban this person. If they left it in comments under your videos, ban them for sure. Like, that is horrible. You shouldn't have to deal with it. That is hate speech. Like, they should be kicked off the platform for sure.
Kicked off the earth.
That might be a bit far for me.
Sorry that something might have been said that
was a joke.
Fuck him.
If you're joking, I will, support the attempt. But
I forgot to put LOL at the end.
And fuck any of the people who think that using this kind of language is appropriate in any regard.
Again, all death threats are wrong. Dane's and Nathaniel's are wrong.
Now, I didn't even realize it was the same person. I just thought it was somebody
who he's like referencing that we should have known that we were
Yeah.
defending this guy.
Yeah, we did not defend this guy once. It's literally just pointing at Dane being a lolcow and his reaction to this guy. Again, not knowing his history, just a name in chat.
I was driving down the street and I saw a woman, in the distressed situation. I'd stop and help her. She could very well be a serial killer or have killed 40 babies in her life. I have a fucking idea. There's just a person there. Like, it's like, do we have?
According to Dane, you should have known. And if you did help her and she turned out to be a bigot, now you're one too.
Now I am that. I helped a bigot.
Yeah.
Obnoxious in your chat, and frankly, if you're gonna be obnoxious in your chat, I think you should expect the obnoxious response.
And this was one of the first ones. You guys remember this? We shared this months ago.
This is disgusting. It's like adding this layer to it. It's like, yeah, of course, like, dude,
gross.
You are unbelievably
Yeah,
hostile.
it's really gross.
To come to chat and be like, oh hey, dude, how you doing? Like,
no, I expect you to ban the person, but I wouldn't expect you to freak out, threaten to rape his entire family, and then remove his head in real life. That seems like a bridge too far. I would definitely expect you to ban him.
I've been banned 6 ways for Sunday for fucking guys. For straight up normal fucking questions, like, hey, how's the weather today? Ban.
Yep, they don't like the questions. You're just supposed to nod.
Yeah, oh, I know this guy. He's a chud. Ban him. And Nathaniel Howard's out here burning fucking burning crosses on your front fucking porch, and nobody's saying anything. like, burning pride flags and beating up gay dudes in the street and verbally assaulting. Nobody's banning this guy? How is this guy?
Yeah, he definitely should be. Yeah, that does not seem like anyone should have to put up with anything that he's saying.
I said earlier, it's not like it's username 4523, like some crazy fucking shit from outer space, but it's Nathaniel Howard.
Like you were saying though, like it could be, like you capitalize a slightly different one or put like a a different space or something.
But I'd be willing to bet if we fucking went back and looked, it wouldn't be different. But I'm even going to go as far as say it's just. I think Nathaniel Howard was like he was like an advocate for slavery or something, wasn't he?
Yeah.
In the Civil
I have no idea.
Like,
it sounds like a Southern name, but I don't know.
Research.
Yeah,
but,
I know nothing about this person other than Dane went off on them in chat, and I thought that was hilarious. Dane's reaction. That is the extent of history. I now know that their name is associated with a really bad email that was just on the screen, and fuck that. We do not defend the guy, and we don't condone his actions if these did that.
They can remember Patrick from fucking 6 months for the rest of their fucking lives, but Nathaniel Howard, we're not.
The death threat guy. They forgot. Dane just forgot.
Oh, that guy? Like, I find it hard to believe that Bob forgot that during Pride Month, Eric was receiving death threats.
Yeah.
Just
it's such a common occurrence that it's just a drop in the bucket of hate.
One of 3 scenarios is one that it actually happened exactly this way. It is what it is. 2, these guys don't actually give a fuck what anybody says to Eric. And 3, it's fucking made up. Like, there's something not right here. And I'm not saying it is made up.
Have you considered simulation? That it's just all programmed. Yeah, I don't know personally. I have heard from someone since they came out with this that they do think this guy is real. I have no idea. I don't really want to look into this guy. I don't want to know anything about him. He seems like he's full of hate, and I don't condone what he's saying. It doesn't come off like a joke to me. It just seems hateful.
If he's real, he's probably 13.
It could be. But either way, that's a fucked up email. Nobody should receive that, and he should be banned for sending it.
Totally.
I also want to point out they did an entire stream defending that person in the stream.
No, we didn't. We just pointed out Dane's horrible behavior.
However, if you were to ask me about it, no, someone that wants to curb stomp me or see me burned, I am not going to make any apologies for anything that they say or do.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly.
Yeah.
They don't like being called out. They don't like whenever. But here's what I
call us out.
Change the subject.
I'm totally fine with you calling us out on anything. I will respond to it, just as I've done with every accusation you've made here. None of them are correct.
have to say about it, and then I'm done with it. But like,
yeah, we can move on after this.
You won't.
So
It
you
will
got
not.
these fucking scumbags,
Spoil it.
chuds, concern trolling me over that tirade that was like, it'd be one thing if I was like threatening, if I was saying that same stuff to somebody that's like on YouTube, I know who they are, you know what I mean? I'm literally just speaking to the void in general.
Yeah, it would be one thing if he knew who he was, like if he knew that it was the guy sending death threats to Eric, but he had no clue who it is. It's just a name on YouTube. Interesting.
Realization
Just
of
speaking
email,
into the void.
or message from a guy I had already blocked or whatever. And I'm doing it in such a hyperbolic way that it's obvious I'm not really threatening anybody.
You lost your
but, like,
fucking
you're
temper.
central over that. Meanwhile, this person, the same person, is throwing hate
we
speech
concern
at
trolls. We
DJ,
made fun of
like you just saw. And you think that
So I'm supposed to somehow know that this guy previously sent this stuff to DJ Eric and be siding with him to say, hey, your behavior was egregious, Dane. You threatened to kill this guy and rape his family. That's fucked up.
He holds up now, and be like, get the fuck out of here, guy.
Yeah, I think both of you guys behaved horribly. I don't think anyone should threaten to kill anyone else. Fuck you guys, both of you, Dane and Nathaniel.
Yeah, pointing out that I said whatever I said, even if it was legit something that
Whatever he said. Whatever. I'll probably play it in post.
If you think that pointing that out, who are you talking to, you piece of shit? Fucking bitch, shut up. Fucking tiny dick motherfucker. I will talk all the shit all day long. I will fuck your mother. I will fuck your sister. I'll fuck your father too, because he wants to. Alright? I will talk so much shit that you'll have shit coming out of your fucking grandfather's fucking urn, okay? Like, you are fucking insecure micro dick motherfucker that shows up to streams to talk shit like this. Only a fucking insecure micro dick motherfucker would do that. Somebody who's so fucking just like fragile with his own opinions and the fucking content creator that you fucking suck the dick and lick the taint of Only somebody like that does what you're doing right now. Well, the reason I'm going so hard on him is because he started off, he's in DJ's chat, and he called him a fruitcake. That was his first thing that he said. So that's the reason I'm just like, no mercy on this piece of shit, okay? And matter if I met you in real life, I would fucking remove your head for being such a bigot fucking moron. Instead, I'm just going to block you. No, it's not a threat. Let me fucking break it down for you, you piece of shit. I said if. Do you know what the fucking word if means? You goddamn loser. Do you know what it means? Because it means if, in the sense that it hasn't happened. It probably won't happen. But if, then yes. I am pissed off that you and people like you fucking exist. Because you don't deserve to. Alright? You fucking take up oxygen and space on this planet that could go to better people. He literally showed up, and the first thing he said was calling DJ a fruitcake. And the reason that I fucking let myself go off like that is because I know DJ won't, because DJ is fucking classy and, like, you know, it probably doesn't even bother him. You know, but yeah, I just I choose to let myself go after that kind of shit a little bit more, you know, aggressively. I'm having a really good day, actually.
You know,
I'm
so
cool.
if any of you have seen Alice Cooper in the show, he does like a magic trick where he cuts off his own head.
Maybe you just don't do it as a magic trick next
Right.
time.
Maybe, you know, someone can, you know, make the magic happen, as it were.
Although we do not.
So you can fuck that guy in particular, because that guy was quite the shitbird.
Yeah, I mean, when you show up and your introductory line is "debate me, fruitcake."
Right. Like, I'm sorry, no, go fuck yourself.
You've you know, you've kind of just told me exactly who you are in 3 words.
You could
probably played a poster.
If you think that pointing that out negates what's going on with DJ, or like is a valid thing to focus on it.
It in no way negates. You cannot sweep this under the rug. You did something egregious. This Nathaniel guy did something egregious. They are both bad. It is not okay because he already did something egregious. I don't get it. Like, we're not excusing either of them.
You gotta say it in Dane's language.
Two bags don't make good, retard.
Yeah, as long as you use the R slur, it'll really sink in with him. That seems to be his favorite.
That's how he
Stop
talks.
this. You're a piece of shit, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a piece of shit.
You're pointing out alleged or perceived hypocrisy doesn't negate.
It isn't alleged or perceived. It literally is just that. If you want to call it in-group bias, where you're just somehow oblivious to your own group's transgressions, fine. It is the lack of a standard of any kind. It is the lack of principles. It is the lack of, you know, any sort of, consistency in judging others by the same standard you hold yourself to. I don't see you doing that. That is what I'm pointing out. But go ahead, call me a piece of shit for doing that.
The other thing. It actually makes you look like a fucking sociopath, Mustard, when you do it.
Again, Dane, you should be really careful with these medical terms. I know that you like throwing around other medical terms and being very ableist. I don't appreciate that type of language. You can self-diagnose all you want. Please don't try and diagnose others. Dr. Dane did not get a degree. He definitely did not get a doctorate. Please stop with this amateur medicine that you're trying to practice here. Yeah, that would be nice.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
It looks
And
like
that's all you do, dude. That's like, I'm talking directly to you, Mustard. All right, like you do this a lot.
It looks like you're talking directly to your keyboard. I don't know why you can't look me in the eye, even through a computer. All you'd have to do is look at the camera, but it appears that is even too much eye contact for you. But sorry, let me let you address me directly again. I'm going to go back about 5 seconds.
I'm talking directly to you, Mustard. All right, like you do this a lot. It seems to be like your go-to move, which is just like, oh, somebody points out that somebody said something egregiously, obviously, objectively fucking racist or something.
No, I'm pointing out that you're doing the same thing while you're trying to be the arbiter of what is or what isn't racist. And I'm pointing out that you're not holding yourself to that same standard. That's all I'm trying to do.
Something you're like, well, one time they said chunky monkey. It's like,
Yeah, I know you're really fixated on that. Perhaps that comes with your self-diagnosis, the fixation on ideas. But, again, you got the incorrect notion on that. We're not saying that it is racist. We're saying that you would never give anybody else the same charity that you're giving yourself, that you just made a slip of the tongue. You were just talking about a line from Iron Man. You in no way intended to say anything racist. You know, if anybody from Geeks and Gamers or Friday Night Tights or any of those shows said anything close, you would never let them live this down. You know that. That's our point.
Dude, you are a fucking sociopath, man. Delete your channel. Go the fuck away.
Okay, well, Sorry,
Do
guys.
this thing about like, oh, guilt by association doesn't exist, but then he loves to apply that when he's trying to connect people to things he doesn't like.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just double standard fucking bullshit. He's a.
It's not double standard. It's lack of standards on your part.
I just want to put this out there like this, and then Bobby can go. We can move on. But I want to say this: if someone
Put it out
is
there.
actively using slurs against someone else, and your immediate response to that is, "Let me jump on that bandwagon," and
You mean like when CP, the guy who calls himself CP, calls Eric July and Uncle Tom, and then the other member of the initiative, Ed, immediately goes on his stream defending it and saying why it's just fine that he called him that. The rest of you guys would have denounced that, right? That's what you're about to say? That it definitely happened that way on your behalf? Okay.
ignore that these unprovoked slurs were okay. Like, just completely ignore that, and then call you out on something that's not even at the same level of the stuff that someone else did. You have fucking problems.
I in no way equated any of those slurs to the same thing. So those are two completely separate incidents. We made the video on Dane freaking out on his thing like 2 weeks ago or something like that. It has nothing to do with this MSK thing. He is somehow conflating both of those together. I just pointed out, hey, Eric, you're not holding yourself to that same standard that you're now holding all of MSK's panel to, where you're condemning all of them, but you're excusing yourself when Dane just did a death threat. It seems a little weird to me.
The death threat was just the most recent thing. It's not like
Yeah. Yeah.
Them stand up and say, hey, you should have fucking done that.
Oh, well, Bob's about to weigh in with all of his brilliance, and he's going to tell what Mustard does.
That's my soundbite.
Right. Yeah. I mean.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
Look, being a hypocrite is not the worst thing in the world, all right? And aside from the fact that I was pointing out in the video clip that I used and I showed in my long video about Eric Schwag.
Did anyone say that is the worst thing in the world? Like, again, I think death threats would be worse than being a hypocrite. But, I don't think that you should, tell people what the standard... Yeah, exactly. There are many things worse than being a hypocrite. I don't know anyone's saying that that's the worst thing in the world. I don't like the straw man that they keep setting up for every single argument. It's like, it's very easy to knock over your own fake arguments.
I established a pattern, which these guys really struggle with, apparently. Whenever we talk about patterns, they're like, whoa, what pattern? I don't understand.
But they do.
So you've watched my previous work.
This is why they annoy the fuck out of me, because then they're going to do this thing. They'll, oh, what's a pattern? What's a pattern? Oh, what's a pattern? No,
Well, I'm glad that we found out what it is. I just wish that it didn't take Bob 2.5 hours to, answer the fucking question. He's the one with that as a standard. I want to know what that is. It can't just be some nebulous, I'll know it when I see it. I want to know if that's his standard for calling someone a bigot.
For it, where does your pattern start at? When does it become a pattern? We're trying to establish what the fuck are you guys talking about? Not that we don't understand what a goddamn pattern is.
Yeah. Again, it went on way too long, but I think the point was definitely made there.
I guess they do understand patterns. I guess they get it.
Dude, the fact I can go to
Do
the
you?
body channel and click on any video and see some bigotry in that video seems like a pretty fucking good pattern there. Right? Yeah, when does it start?
Patterns are woke.
They're racist.
Apparently patterns are racist. In case anyone else has, an issue figuring out what a pattern is, I guess we could probably help. I don't know. There's been a bunch of different... okay, it looks like I have actually removed the clip because, it's kind of played out. But eventually there is a clip of Ed saying a pattern is when it happens 3 times. I don't know why it had to go on so long in order to get that from them. It just seems ridiculous. But they're the ones with the standard. It seems like you should be able to kind of explain what that means if that's the standard you're holding people to.
That's for sure.
But it's insane how the internet just gives people the opportunity to just do this.
He talks shit on us.
100%, this person would never say even near that kind of stuff to your face.
He would. MSK would say that to your face.
The internet just it's so much like.
Unless by this person he means that Nathaniel Howard person, and I know nothing about that person. But if he's talking about MSK, he would totally say that to him. But I just realized he's not being clear. He might be talking about Nathaniel Howard. I don't think he's talking about me necessarily here, but then he does talk about us.
Oftentimes people just don't put 2 and 2 together that this is an actual human being on the other side of these messages.
Yeah.
It's just like the internet.
We believe you are all humans. We're not dehumanizing any of you.
Desensitized a lot. And that's not like saying oh, he's an angel in real life and it's just the internet, but it's just he's a piece of shit. 100%. But it's just,
See, Super High Early, and I think I speak for all of us. We are all about peace too. Unfortunately, when you are in a situation, social spaces, world where there are people who are dead set against it, or at the very least, defending the people who are against peace and actually want hostility and violence and whatnot, you have to have a defensive posture.
Tolerance of intolerance is the death of tolerance. I mean, we talked about this.
So, in order to, make tolerance more, you must intolerate intolerance. I don't know. It's just weird. These guys speak about this, yet they show zero tolerance. They have very much a zero tolerance rule, especially if you ask a question in their chat. I don't know. I would not take my guidance on tolerance from, the people that can't even control themselves.
Bob's holding his head still all the time. Mike's constantly do that.
I cut it out already. At one point, he had a green screen behind him, and it fell down and hit him in the middle of the stream. I figured it wasn't really worth showing, but he may be holding up his head because he did hurt the back of his neck or something when his green screen collapsed on him. But I don't know.
Picture in the background?
He wanted to hide his popcorn bucket. I think, he's finally ready to change the background. I don't know. Maybe he wanted to add a second one in there. I'm not sure.
I think you got a video on Rags today. I want to watch that.
Yeah, I would like to watch that as well. Hopefully by the time this airs, we have watched it.
Willing to fucking, it's the same rule as from, fucking elementary school when you're getting bullied or whatever. You gotta stand up to the bully.
Is the rule that you become the bully, or is it just you stand up for yourself? Because, I would think, the guy who gives a death threat to TJ AirRick, that seems like a bully. He's, threatening him out of nowhere, unprovoked. And then Dane does kind of the same bullying tactics. It's not standing up for yourself. This dude didn't come at him. But I don't know. Apparently it's just fine. He's just standing up for himself by threatening to do the worst to this guy's family.
But it's just like, fucking snowflake behavior. Getting, after writing comments like that, saying all that shit, then getting offended that someone says they're gonna, fuck your dad. Well,
does he think that we wrote all those comments or something? I don't know. I feel like perhaps Turf isn't as smart as I kind of previously thought he was.
There's something wrong with him.
All right, fair enough. He did look like he was out of sleep during this. Perhaps he hasn't been following along. At least the other three seem to have the story
You can't put
straight.
the two together. You can't put Dane flipping out on that guy and that guy being racist together because they weren't, bigoted together because they weren't connected at the time. You can't.
I think he thinks that I'm the guy who wrote those, comments, like perhaps the response to Eric on Twitter. I don't know who he thinks I am, but
he's not paying attention, that's for sure.
Yeah, fair enough.
Back to sleep, but
I just want real quickly address Mustard here, because Mustard likes to pretend like he's just a concerned centrist, just concerned about something.
Actually, I've been mislabeled that a whole bunch of times, but okay, do it again, and blame it on me, saying that I like to be called this way. Again, I've never identified as a centrist. I just said every time I take a political compass test, it puts me somewhere near the center. Usually it's slightly center-right, but I have gotten center-left when it focuses more on social issues, so kind of depends.
Some of the things these crazy leftists are saying. And dude, you're just a standard right-wing troll. It's all you are.
Oh, okay. I'm sure he'll tell me how I'm a standard right-wing troll. I'm sure he'll lay out his case with a lot of information, a lot of details, a lot of evidence.
You're a chud. You're nothing special. Your content is trash. You have nothing valuable to add to the conversation. You are a waste of time at best.
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
Are they here right now?
I'm nothing. Well, thank you, Bob. Bob, why don't you go back to...
He just sat back so satisfied in his chair. I got him now.
Oh, he got me so well. Bob, feel free to talk to me anytime you want to. As soon as Dane pulls his hand out of your ass and quits using you as a puppet. I think that you went through something major, and it really changed the way that you do your content. I think you should go back to the way you used to do your content. That's when you gained a lot of subs. That's when you actually had something of substance to say. I have seen all your recent work with the Fandom Initiative. I gotta say, it's very subpar, Bob. You're not doing a great job. Anytime that you try to react to something, you misinterpret what they're saying. I can't tell if it's intentional. At this point, I don't think it is. I just think you're not that smart. Yeah. I previously thought higher of you. I had a conversation with you. I thought perhaps you just had some skills where you like to dodge. I think you actually have an issue where you can't track what somebody else is saying. It's kind of sad, Bob. I think you did pretty good with those Versus series. You should probably go back to that. That would be my advice for you, as long as we're giving each other advice here.
Just stay in your lane, Bob. You're obviously slightly retarded. You're the type of person that would go out and get a college degree and then go work at fucking ShopRite, like the pizza market. You know what I mean? Like
he does.
You're not,
I could see him with a
following
hairnet
your
for
own
sure.
depth. Yeah, he's out of his depth as far as like.
Because
they're always watching. I'm pretty sure they're here. They're recording the stream because
Hey, we're watching. We're recording.
Dude, they have
Watch
a
yourself.
stream that I shut down immediately after it aired, like because
You mean a stream that he immediately privated because of how horrible it was, and he realized the hate that was spewed forth from it? Yeah, I agree. I would want to hide that too. Unfortunately, it's not just me who's clipping this stuff. We have gotten quite a few contributions from quite a few people, and it's quite awesome how many people are interested in kind of exposing the behavior that you guys are doing. And, you know, that's not coming from us. It's coming from everyone's interpretation of you based off of your actions and how you label everybody else. You just seem to make people want to catch your, you know, discretions that you wouldn't give anyone else leeway for.
Yeah, like I just want to go publicly and say, you know this about me. I don't know how to clip something. I don't even know what the process is.
I do, and I do it quite often. But shout out to everybody out there who's been like, hey, you need to check this out right now. Hey, I got this thing for you. Oh, yeah.
And the other thing for you fellas, stop privating all your shit. Like,
yeah,
we're going to find it anyway if you said something stupid about us. Somebody's going to send it to us. And I like Dane's logic of like, well, I private it because, like, then, you know, it gives an opportunity for Bob and viewers. It's like somebody wants to leave it up, so we go back and watch. Why don't you fucking say that? Like, why don't you do it in the first fucking place? And, like, how about one of you fucking stream and, you know, get everybody on one channel? Then alternate next week. It just seems like it's always got to be off Dane's fucking thing. The blood sucker.
Yeah.
Grifter.
But this little short stream I did debuting a video, and it was only existed just to do that, and they had a clip from it. So
like I said, they're very passionate. They're passionate about, you know.
We are passionate gentlemen, and that is one of the reasons why we don't fit your misdiagnosis when you tried to put on your medical hat and, you know, label both of us. But yes, we are passionate gentlemen. We care.
About us in particular, for some reason, like
it's not about you. It's about
I
truth.
think that they would, you know, I mean, I understand like we comment on lots of people, but we kind of have a rotation. We generally, you know, keep it.
Yeah, you guys hit Eric July and Geeks and Gamers, and so could that be like hitting Dane and Eric Debunks and Bob and Pop Counterculture and CP? Oh, could that be very similar? Huh. But it's okay when you guys do it, but, you know, you're so different than us. You totally didn't spend a year tracking Eric July and then make a video about how you studied him for a year and found out that he's a grifter. You're right. You don't focus on anyone. You just spread it around. Yeah, but we do other things as well. We try to educate. You know, stick around and watch a whole stream sometime, Dan.
I have like a whole job, and I go to.
Yeah, there's that too.
Amongst the folks that there are to talk about, but like it'd be like us just fixating on like one chud, you know, like, and then just only doing that. It's weird.
I mean, part of the people we focus on are people who actually have a serious voice in the YouTube climate.
He does have me there. A lot of these guys do not have serious voices, Bob included. He does have me there. I am focusing on people without serious voices.
That's a very serious voice.
Very.
And spread a lot of misinformation, and we try to provide a counterpoint. And somehow these guys have an issue with us trying to prevent misinformation and bigotry getting out there.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Do you think that's really what we have the issue with?
Is that I want to also point out that,
look at these little
you know,
yep, I got him again. I got him
Justin.
again, boys.
Got it.
I'm again. They hate misinformation.
The fact that somehow they believe that, you know, because, you know, I think this guy's a coward for using that kind of language, that I don't want people talking about me. It's just completely disingenuous. That's not.
No. I think you're a coward because you won't talk to anyone else. But you're calling out this dude for saying that he won't talk to you. I think, again, that is that whole Intergroup Bias thing where you're not seeing it when your side does the exact same thing and calls other people cowards, yet you literally will not talk to anybody else. Even when, you know, you agreed to talk to Patrick, a very cordial conversation, he had to send you the questions ahead of time. You agreed to it. Yeah. You strung him along. You said, yes, these look great. I'm going to have this conversation with you. And then, instead of actually doing that, you gave them to Dane. That seems very cowardly to me. That seems like you were afraid to actually have any conversation. And that's why I say you don't have room to call others cowards for not saying it to your face when you literally block everyone, won't let them say it to your face. But he's saying it on the internet, the public access internet. Anywhere you want to go, you can find his Twitter and you can find his thing on Rumble. I don't know. I just don't see how he's not talking to you. But you literally will not talk to somebody else.
People talk about us all the time.
Oh, and he invited you on his show, but you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, like, we wouldn't talk about them at all, but like when it, we had a discussion about this in particular, just because they got their way. This is the reason why Mustard's going around talking to different people who have any kind of conflict with any one of us and stuff like that, because he's already
they're seeking me out.
He wants to tie us all together in any action, in words that any of us take, so that he can paint the
People out
entire
there
thing.
don't like you, Dane.
What? I'm gonna hold them to the words that they say? That sounds horrible. Why would anyone do that? Don't you know? You should just get the vibe that these are the good guys and everyone else is the bad guys. Okay.
As whatever the fuck you twist it to be, and that's just kind of
what have I twisted,
Dane? Why
Dane?
you would be so dedicated to do that?
Because I find you to be a liar and, quite frankly, a scam artist. I find you to be deeply unfunny, very disturbing, and again, you don't seem to be able to see yourself accurately or what you're doing. I want to point this out. That's it.
And it's the good news is you can look at their channel. We don't say their names.
Please do.
Because that's what they want. You can look at their channel and you can see that they are not doing so well.
Well, let's think about that. Are we not doing so well? I think we're doing all right for the size of the channel, and considering we started out with 0 people, 0 followers, I think we're doing pretty good. It seems like pretty quick growth. I'm digging this, and not only that, the community seems strong and awesome.
Yeah.
So no complaints here.
Going up, not down.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that whenever they don't talk about us, they don't do well at all.
It's not true.
I guess
Eric July is a bigger sell than you.
Mustard, how's our scrum taste, buddy? You liking that scrum? Getting a taste of that unwashed scrum?
Confirmed. Dane does not wash his scrum. So scrum is slang for the balloon knot, the a noose, if you will, the actual sphincter. Yeah. You're the starfish, the old rusty sheriff's badge, if you will. But confirmed. Let's walk that back just a couple of seconds. Dane does not wash his scrum.
For Mustard, how's our scrum taste, buddy? You liking that scrum? Getting a taste of that unwashed scrum? All right.
I've never heard this term.
Yeah, that's kind of gross. I gotta say, wash that shit, Dane. And no, sir, I would never taste your scrum. I know that you have fantasies about us, apparently us running on the beach, meeting together, and then apparently something about scrum tasting. I gotta say, it wasn't that convincing when, Shaq tried to come after Kobe with the "tell me how my ass tastes." It just came off really gross to me. So wait, you want some dude to? Okay. If you want that, that's fine. But please don't keep me in your fantasies. Please keep me out of it.
I mean, I do eat ass.
But he doesn't wash.
Not that gross, motherfucker. Wash your ass.
So do they collab with other people who also don't like us?
Yes. That's pretty much what they do.
So those other,
welcome to the conversation, Turf. Wake up.
Hey, buddy.
Those other people are collabing with this.
They have sought me out and asked me to be a guest on their show, or we've saw people that had interesting stories. We've talked to them. We're not literally going after anyone you've ever talked to and trying to get them as a guest. In fact, we're seeking out almost nobody. I have asked a couple people to guest, and that was really cool. But honestly, most of the people who have been guests or anything have kind of reached out to us, and that's been really cool.
Yeah.
Person who's saying all this shit.
Yes.
Just to get back at us.
Yes.
Which is fucking insane.
Right. So we'll connect the dots here. Okay. So Mustard has a channel that they make with him and his other little friends.
Little friends. I guess you're one of the little friends. Part of the stupid Legion of Stupid Doom. Sorry, the LSD.
Channel kind of cycles around our content, which whatever, right?
Okay. At least he gave you that step up. It cycles around.
I'm not the little friends. I think he's talking about.
I don't know, man. Friends. I think he's thinking about this chat. Well, I don't know.
An unrelated person that doesn't even really make YouTube content.
MSK.
Calling me the F Slur. Within 24 hours, somehow, Mustard was on that person's live stream.
Wow. Did you look into it any further? Is there any connection that I would have had with him? Have I ever been on his show before? Or did I just magically show up that day?
About MSK now?
Yeah, so now he's talking about MSK, who's not a YouTuber, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Until 2 months ago, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I think we're almost finished here, but yeah.
It's intentional. That's what it is.
No, yeah. It's just like we would never go to any lengths to call out one of the people we call out. If there was someone out there who was being fully racist towards
Okay, first off, I want to point out he thinks that I am of great value. So I got that going for me. And no, it is of great value, sir. It is not just mustard. It's great value, Dijon. But fair enough. I understand he's trying to give me the Walmart brand. Yes, but are we? Yeah, I guess we live quite, quite comfortably in Dane's head. He has many folders of us, and he thought he'd need to bring this up when talking about us.
Yeah.
And it would be like actually beneficial towards our cause or whatever to go on a stream with him. I can never get myself to do that.
I don't think it's beneficial for me to go on MSK's streams. I think it's kind of fun, and it's kind of dangerous, and that's kind of why I enjoy going over there. But it is to the detriment of the channel, probably, and it is also against the advice of people I care about. You've definitely told me, watch yourself. I think Tiamat's told me not to go on there before. There's quite a few others, but
Don't fuck with those guys.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what's funny? Turf is saying, it would be to their detriment to go on. You know what wouldn't have been, which would have been something that would actually have brought our couple of crews together, would have been if Eric would have done those questions and they would have made an asshole out of us or attempted to.
That seems odd.
There's a lot of people in our community who would have been like, okay, maybe these guys aren't that fucked up, or maybe they wouldn't have, but they are fucked up, so they ruined it. I don't. It's funny for Turf to say why would I go on with somebody who's like this or that, right? It's no, you guys wouldn't go on with anyone unless they're in your bubble, your safety net, and then occasionally you'll get somebody like Southpaw or SK, and you boot them right the fuck out along with Ed and whoever else comes through your fucking system who doesn't exactly conform. I really think the only reason Turf is here is because, I don't know, he's like a medic.
He's asleep half the time and not really paying attention?
Yeah, he's like Gordy.
Poor Gordy. Hang in there, buddy. Hang in there.
Well, not only that, it wouldn't even be just that. This is the wild thing. It wasn't like the wild thing.
Wild.
It wasn't even that. They didn't even go on the stream to really talk about what happened with me and the F Slur. They went on the stream specifically to air grievances.
Are your pronouns they, them, Gray?
It's Gray Grim. Thank you. No, I just go by he. But, I'll accept Gray if you want to call it Gray them. But, it's really kind of shitty to say that I... Well, okay, so the other thing is, MSK's streams, they generally go 3 or 4 hours, something like that. Again, we covered multiple topics that day. It wasn't just this. This is one thing that I sent to him, hey, this guy made a video about you. You want to talk about it? I have feelings. So, I did kind of go on there to talk about it. But again, this is something that's been prearranged that we were scheduled to do for a long time. So, I don't know. They didn't exactly frame this correctly, but that being said, Rumble does kind of suck. It's kind of hard to go through people's past content and see it there. It's kind of more what's live now. So I don't want to fault them for not knowing MSK or my whole backstory on there. But they're incorrect. Fair enough, though.
But they currently, at this moment, have Mustard and Starfish on the screen. Which
what do you have to do with any of this? That's true. You have nothing to do with any of this. Your name has been dragged through the mud for no reason.
Once again,
I can understand how they would come after me and dislike what I'm doing, but you have nothing to do with it.
Literally nothing to do with it. And not only have nothing to do with it, I'm on this stream today saying I think MSK is fucking retarded for saying that.
Yeah, but guilt by association, right? You are now a bigot by proxy because I've been on MSK's show. Yeah. Well, you're already... they already made a stream calling you a psycho. So, you're a psycho bigot now.
What my video was about, just to once again reiterate a bunch of old shit that I haven't even talked about in months.
Okay. Didn't you guys just do a stream about a bunch of old shit, like those death threats that you got months ago? I don't know. I feel like, again, this is a bad standard. But, yes, I did once again point out that you can't call other people cowards for not talking to you when you will not talk to anybody else. That would be too brave.
Yeah, I mean, there's guys that are still mad about those questions, which I'm editing a video of that.
Okay, so now he's finally bringing up you, because those were your questions. So now you actually belong here.
Those questions that apparently they broke, we broke some kind of sinned, apparently.
So tired of this.
Man.
Look, the thing about this, to clear the air about that.
Here we go.
I told you about something that happened. When all of that went down, I actually took accountability and apologized to
Oh, he took accountability and he apologized. Maybe he's going to say to somebody else, because, you would have receipts if he apologized to you, right? So who could he possibly have apologized to?
Patrick about it in DMs.
Yep.
Oh, we didn't say the name. Starfish.
Oh, so he apologized to Starfish. So, hey, can I ask you? So we're not like them. We don't want to leak his entire DM to you. But is there a part in there where he takes accountability and apologizes to you?
All right. Well, I'll just go ahead and read it since this guy's a
Oh, okay, fine, sure. Why not? You're just doing this on a live stream on my channel, so that seems perfectly fine. They're fine with giving DMs from one person to another to read on a channel, and that's just fine.
Yeah, and I don't really give a fuck what they're fine with anyway.
Fair enough.
About me. So he says a couple things here. I understand why you were pissed off, and I acknowledge that. I can't really do anything about how you feel, so I guess all I can do is respect it.
Okay. Oh, sorry. So that must be how he took accountability, by acknowledging that you feel a certain way. Oh, okay. Well, then everything's done. Water under the bridge.
And then he says, I don't like sharing private conversations without two-party consent.
I would disagree.
Yeah.
Yet he did it.
No, I'm scanning this. Look at this. Anybody wants to pause and fucking read the entire thing, I have no problem with it.
But I'm sure the words "sorry, I shouldn't have done this" are in there, right? Like, I take full accountability for this.
Nowhere. He blames Dane for taking the questions without us. I think it says it at the bottom here. No, he doesn't say that. But he says, you don't have to sit here and take this. If you want to just walk away, I understand. When I first sent him the questions, where is it? This is between the time where I gave him the questions.
Yeah.
And then they stole them. They did the stream.
Yeah, but we hadn't done a response to it yet.
He said, "Oh, thank you so much for this comprehensive list. I have a lot going on this month." I said, "You're welcome. Let me know if you need anything. Just so you know, I think all those topics are fine. And just to be clear, to schedule something for the next couple of weeks or maybe the start of July, that's cool." And I said, "Hey, listen, I understand. It's I said my girlfriend's going to be visiting San Diego. I'll have a nice quiet house. So I'm flexible all the time." And
I think that's the cowardly part, is he never said, like, I don't like these questions. They're making me feel different. Here's what I wouldn't like. Nothing like that. And again, like, we don't have to go through all of them, but previous to that, you had said, if you don't like any of these or you want to change any of these, no problem. That was the reason why one of them was sort of doubled up.
Yeah,
I assumed one of them wouldn't make it through. Yeah. But that's why I'm calling him cowardly, because there's no way that he would have actually confronted you and said, this isn't happening. Instead, he just gave those questions to Dane to go ahead and cowardly mock with his friends and say a bunch of untrue things about who we are and why we're doing this.
He said, I messaged you and I told you what happened. I'm not going to go into a private conversation to give you details. I shared the topics with the group, not a conversation with you. I don't do shit like that. Okay.
Right. So that's all he's doing. I don't know, but at no time did he ever actually take responsibility for it. Like, again, he makes himself the good guy in his head. Yeah, that's not the same as saying, you're right, I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry I did that.
I acknowledge you're upset. Okay.
Cool.
Me too.
It's, at least he could have been like an asshole and said, like, I'm sorry you feel that way. That's at least the fake way of saying sorry to somebody. But it wasn't even that. It's, I acknowledge that you feel. Thank you. That doesn't make us good. Yeah.
He's like, I had no idea they were going to do this.
Yeah.
He's like,
and it doesn't seem like you'd say that if you, thought that it was a great thing. It seems like you would justify it as it's perfectly fine that they did this. I see no issue with it. But that's not what he said. I don't know. It's a very, not very good DM, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it's terrible. I'm going to
shit. But I think he's going to go on and exalt himself a little bit more, say how great of a person he is.
But I apologized to him in DM.
Oh, no, you did not.
And took accountability for it and said, it's my bad. We'll squash. We won't do what we planned on doing. And we never have to even talk about it again. Right?
No, you didn't.
But them and the people that follow them keep saying that I never took accountability for it. I absolutely did.
You didn't?
I 100% did take accountability for it.
Never once.
I have said that, yes, I did, in fact, share the questions because I felt they were in bad faith and I wanted to get a second.
No, that's not what you said, motherfucker. I'll read what you said right now.
You didn't say that to us. You might have said that to Dane, and if so, that is very dishonest of you to not actually talk to Patrick. And, Patrick would have changed them completely, or omitted any of them that you thought were bad faith, or any way that you thought that they were bad faith. You did not...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good, man. Please go right ahead. You were saying first off?
No, he said, first of all, he said he had no idea that it took place at all. He didn't even know they were doing that. So he said, I got it. Let me listen to the podcast. I have no idea what was said.
Yeah, which is also a lie, because in the previous stream he said, hey, I need those questions so that I can go over it on the next podcast. Yeah. He completely asked him on the stream. Maybe he wasn't really paying attention, but he sent him the fucking question. So, it seems like you do have some responsibility for that.
He said, I'm not going to speak on it until this. Being part of a group with those guys is also being careful about who I engage with so that they aren't blindsided. Although I didn't share direct details, topics were something I felt was important to share with them. And I said, I can understand that. And he said, you don't have to sit and take it. If you want to walk away and write me off, you can do that. I won't take it personally.
Yeah. And at that point, you were still considering, like, okay, even though he did this, maybe he'll start the conversation. Yeah.
I said, I'll never allow Dane to ruin something good that I'm trying to do here.
Yeah.
And I said, I wanted to do something good. I really don't want that for us to walk away.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm too green to understand that's not an easy thing as I thought it was on YouTube.
Yeah.
He said, I'm at a disadvantage. I don't know what happens. I have this whole fucking thing, Eric. So you want to keep making lies?
It's really shitty. I guess he wants you to expose it so that he can say that you leaked some DMs, but I don't know. It's just bullshit. Like, dude, this is a two-way conversation. You can't lie that you've said a whole bunch of shit that you haven't.
No. And you try to make an asshole out of me? Like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, yeah. You were being unreasonable by sending him questions ahead of time, saying you'd edit anything out that he doesn't want. You can do it on his channel if he wants. He can have full control over it. But, no. I don't know. It's crazy. But I think he's going to go on a little further.
That's it. That's what I said.
No, it's not.
But they keep going on about
No, you didn't.
As if I did not address it. I have addressed it.
You did?
I listed him specifically.
Yes, you have lied about it.
And in
because
response,
you keep lying about it.
Get, like,
I don't know why we talk about it.
My cat, you know what I mean? Shit like that. Like,
come to that cat.
Yeah, and crazy fucking...
We just want the best for Gordy. We feel like he's in an abusive situation if you're feeding him your dead children, or weird meat, as you like to put it. It feels like it's an unsafe environment, and we feel like he should be liberated and have the best possible life that a cat could have.
It's a sanctuary kitty.
Yeah.
Dude, like yeah, we're not even fucking going into it.
I mean, that shit is unacceptable. Guys, we already have the paperwork in motion. Dane's going to be opting next episode, and Gordy is joining us.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I mean, then if, Gordy is going to join the initiative, Gordy might be the most intelligent member. That is, one good thing. The IQ would be raised should the cat join.
That's for sure.
So what is their end goal? To get us canceled?
Morgan.
No, I think I would just like you to actually look in the mirror. It would be great if you stopped calling everyone else a bigot while still pointing those three fingers at yourself and ignoring them. It'd be great if you did actually, hold a consistent value, a consistent principle that you, hold yourself to that same standard that you're holding everybody else to. But I just don't see you doing that. That would be my goal, is for you to actually become self-aware. But I don't really have any hope that you're going to do that. So instead, I'm just going to kind of point out, these horrible, horrible actions that you do.
Is that the end goal? I mean, these are the people that are free speech opponents. They argue that humor is okay. You can say anything under the sun. So what is their
jokes are funny.
Because actually, I think that Mustard on Bob's stream and with Ed is a champion of anything is fair game. You can say anything you want to say. So
as long as it's a joke. Yes. I don't think that anyone should be able to just say anything. Like, I don't think you should just threaten somebody's life. I don't think that's a funny joke.
What is the problem?
Well, except for shitting in somebody's urn. That's not okay.
Having cringe takes or jokes are fine, but giving criticism is not fine.
Oh, you didn't see I updated my Twitter. It says I'm a comedian.
But you don't meet the one requirement of that job. You need to have a sense of humor. I don't see that he has that. I really think to be a comedian, you got to be able to take a joke. I don't see anyone on this panel qualifying for that. But, perhaps I'm wrong.
Not just a dick. So that's a joke. That's a gay joke.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
we're all comedians.
I should
Oh,
be
are
able
ya?
to say whatever I want to say now that my Twitter is officially updated to say that I'm a comedian. So
I already know he's a comedian. Look at his fucking outfit.
It's making me laugh. I do think, you can see the collection of them. They are all, non-prescription glasses. They are accessories.
Whoever painted that Flash picture in the background should be put to sleep. It was obviously painted by some sad, handicapped child who is, close to death and was, very sad, and they gave him a little project to do.
It does have Make-A-Wish vibes to it. Unfortunately, that was actually DJ AirRick. That's his online business. He does those paintings.
No wonder it's hanging on his wall. You can't fucking. Who's gonna buy that?
Yeah. We kid. We kid. But you see, that's the thing. We have senses of humor. I don't think you guys do. I don't think you can call yourself a comedian if you can't take a joke. You certainly can't make one. But you're at least delighting Bob. I wish we were all as happy as Bob.
Don't come at me, bro. It's all a joke.
I'm the one that's been saying retarded for some reason more and more lately. Like I kind of just don't care, honestly. Like I don't feel like it matters.
So again, only some slurs, but some slurs are okay. Ableism, he's cool with that. But homophobia, no, you can't do that. That one's over the line. But it's okay when he does his own type of slurs. Okay.
Well, I mean, the other thing is that I hear that community using it flippantly all the time.
Not sure what community he's talking about. If he's talking about us, I don't think we say it all the time, but
if you say it in a moment of being upset, all of a sudden it's like people flip the fuck out. So,
yep.
I don't know. Is it in vogue again to use that as a word? I don't know.
The R word?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if people just started
touching your face.
Well, it is kind of weird that even there, when he actually has clarity, when he's not going off the handle, he says the R word. He doesn't actually say it there. That is kind of telling, isn't it?
So he knows it's wrong.
I just got called out by my
his own standard.
Morgan.
And Morgan, at the same time, calling Dane out about the R slur, is using the chud slur. Come on. We are human. This is not cool.
Please
Morgan, don't pick and choose who gets humanization here. Chuds are people, too. Okay? That's very hurtful.
From a different show.
Yeah.
All right.
I personally don't use it, but I don't really know the state of that term right now because I'm here.
Huh. So could that be like my stance on the F slur, that I don't personally use it? I don't really know what the state of whatever is, but you seem just fine with Dane using the R slur. Could I be just fine with MSK using the F slur on his show? Huh.
Yeah, but do you know any retards that died of AIDS? I don't think so.
I mean, only a handful, but my circle is small.
Well, so I mean, I definitely am trying not to say it for the most part, but also I don't have to whenever I have I guess I don't have it up here, but the quantum leap meme.
So he doesn't have to say it when he has a clip of somebody else saying it. So that's the same. So apparently, if you just had a clip of somebody saying the F slur, that would be just fine. I don't know. That's why I guess I don't understand this whole inconsistency, non-principled stance. All right. Well, I think we have one trip to the mailbag really quick, and then. Okay. So we got a couple of them today, and I should have had this one up. It's kind of a good one. I should have put a little bit more thought into this because I think this might be something that we need to think about. We might have to come back to this next time, but okay. Hey, Chuds, I'm not sure how many members are part of the Fandom Initiative, but out of the members they have now, how would you rank them from intelligence, dumbest to smartest, and which ones are the most entertaining, even if they are wrong? They annoy me, but that's what makes them fun to watch. Keep up the good work. Signed, Jan. So, I think that's kind of something that we should come back to next week. But I think, let's do that. Let's come back with kind of an initiative tier list, if we will. Let's rank them on intelligence and entertainment. So that sounds fun. All right, and then we had a second one, which it came to us also through the mailbag. And please, I didn't set the banner yet, but, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to email us. We're taking this whole chud thing back. We could use your help. You got a question? We got an answer. Okay, so this question starts out. Hey there, Chudsterd and Starfish. This must be a recent viewer. I see what you did there. I don't hate it. I was wondering what you fellas are passionate about. I saw an example from actual fandom and included a clip, but I trust you have different fancies. Signed, Turn the Other Cheek. So they're asking what we're passionate about. You know, a lot of things. I used to be really passionate about music when I was younger. Really saw my life as, you know, a horrible, you know, dirty band member who just rolls town to town. And I realized that my passion for that really waned over the years, just dealing with a whole bunch of musicians. They can be the worst. They're very irreliable, and, you know, they're not good people. So, I don't know, my passions have changed over the years. I think right now I'm mostly passionate about my family. You know, my pets are like everything to me. My friend group, they're awesome. And then, you know, this community, this whole thing that we're building here, it's really awesome. Those are kind of my big passions these days. But what about you? What are you passionate about, Patrick?
Well, there's the obvious ones, obviously, you know, my family. I've been able to live out some of my passions vicariously through my kid.
Hell yeah.
My son and my girlfriend's son. As you can see, a lot of the times I stream from my son's room. And if you take a little gander in the background, you know, there's a lot of things that I...
He's got some cool shit.
Yeah, he's got really cool shit. You know, to the right is a couple of PlayStation 5s, Xboxes, and whatever else. But if I had to pick something for myself that I'm pretty passionate about, besides, like, you know, like I said, like obvious stuff, movies, whatever. I like self-help. I love...
You know, I'm kind of regretting my my answer for that. You know, you're right. Like the thing that I've been most passionate about, kind of over the last 2 years, I've gone on a real self-improvement journey, mentally, physically. That's kind of the one thing that I truly am passionate about. So I think we share that, and we've kind of talked some of that as well. Yeah. But yeah, I really dig that about you. It doesn't seem like you're happy to just be.
Nope, I'm not content because it's, you know, it's like the whole world is explored already. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going out there exploring universes, worlds, oceans. I got one plot of land I can get into, and that's my fucking noggin. You know, there's a lot of things I didn't like about the way I was for a long time, and when I figured out finally, if I actually learn how to do these things and learn how to apply some self-help to my life, and I'm not talking silly shit, but like, you know,
reasonable stuff.
Take what you think is good and leave the rest. It's like my philosophy of life. But like I found things that just helped me, just stupid stuff with anxiety and you know, self-doubt and all that kind of stuff. I love when you find those things, you challenge yourself and you grow. And when you come out of it, maybe it's not after a week or a day or whatever, but in a year, you come out on the other side, you're like, holy shit, like, I'm different now, I'm better for it. And so that's kind of what I'm passionate about. I try to
that's awesome. That kind of makes me regret my answer. But yeah, they happen to include a clip. So here's what Dane's passionate.
Deep down on some level, you want a finger in your butt, you fucking retard. Yeah. By the way, finger in the butt, not a bad thing.
His unwashed scrum? Wow.
It's not wrong. A finger in the butt could be a fine.
You know, I have different passions, but I don't know. I gotta say, to each their own. I like the self-improvement thing, but you know, I guess he likes to get in there and root around. Kind of like we're doing with our... Yeah, I like to think more like root around in my mind, come up with you know, different ways of being that, you know, like you mentioned, ways to help your anxiety. I don't think that would help me with anxiety at all. But,
He's passionate.
All right. He's very passionate man. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. We've had a good one.
Thanks, gang.
Yeah.